Hello there. Um, wow, we got Paul Vanderclay. We're recycling AI thumbnails. Time's hard for Jacob. Can't afford the commute. um, hey, Mary, you're on Twitch. Yes. Um, very few people are on watch me on Twitch, but the ones that do are always the most interesting ones. Um, yeah, so the reason I did the thumbnail is, as opposed to doing a thumbnail one, is when I play the outro at the end of my whatchamacallit, it shows Father Stephen, and if he hasn't been on, people get mad at me. Sure, Mary, you can jump on. That's fine. I mean, I might end up limiting you sometimes. How you doing?
Okay. Yeah. So the other one's awesome. I don't think it's echoing into the void.
Your microphone is really bad.
The really bad how? Like too
Well,
soft, too loud, too whatever. I am terrible at tech support.
there
So the,
is there is some sort of background noise.
that's my fan. Um,
Yeah. So,
that's to keep my computer from dying of cringe.
aha.
Uh, yeah, because my computer is old and it clicks when it gets too hot. So I don't want it to click. So I've aimed a cooling fan at it in its general direction.
I see.
Yes.
Is there any way you can move the mic away from the general direction of the fan?
I can stand myself away. Is this better? This is about. Hold on. Let me see if I can get as far away from the fan as humanly possible. Is this better?
Um, it's not really. It's not helping with the jet engine noises people are calling. Just mute yourself when you're not talking.
Hold on. Well, I think I can sort of. Let me
Also,
see.
have you tried using StreamYard on your phone?
Uh, Goodness gracious, no. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Yes, I have this other one. Hold on. Let me try. Hold on.
I actually
Tech support.
don't. Okay, Mary, I'm gonna take you off while you do that because it it's the sound is really annoying. Um, I I don't actually have any much. I mean, there is stuff I could be talking about, including the James White Father Stevens stuff, but it's mostly a just chatting stream if somebody wants to jump on. Um, but yeah, Mary, when hopefully you get things um yeah, although I mean, if nobody else jumps on, um okay, let's try again. Uh I do not hear jet noises behind you. I also don't hear you. So Jonathan says, you could try putting your laptop in a pool to cool it down. Um, Sandy says, it's hot here today. Okay, somebody should jump on and give us a topic to talk about. It is a just chatting stream mostly.
Okay. Hold on. Let me. Is
Oh, this is so much better.
is this still jet engine-y? Is this no?
No. Oh, wow, this is so much better.
Okay. Yeah. See, I have to do my tech support live, talking to people. Uh.
The,
Okay, is this better? Like you guys can hear me. There's no jet engine screaming. Everything is about as balanced as it can be from my end.
This is beautiful.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful.
I were mining Bitcoin. No, I was jamming with an old computer.
Aha. So Mary, I'm not sure people actually know you. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, let me see. My name, well, my full legal name is none of your business. I do not wish to dox myself that thoroughly right now, but yes, my name is Mary. I am known as something like OCD, Abbott, and Costello on several different channels now because that's my current, like, that resembles my current default Discord handle. Yes, the AI girlfriend, because sometimes
who's Josh?
Josh, oh dear, he is, I don't know his Discord name. He invited me on his stream when he was jamming with Claire, the secular karatist. And yeah, and then I kind of roboted at Josh and Claire because I'm like, ooh, Josh and Claire Josh and Claire confuse me because they talk so much like Christians that I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds exactly like Christian morality, just with extra steps, right? So I'm trying to clarify exactly what I trained myself wrong as a joke. So when I'm very confused, the things that come out of my mouth are like basically have no, very thin. My brain to mouth filter is very thin. I don't like to turn my internal editor on because that's a lot of brain cells being burnt to the void. So to avoid myself hitting the Turing machine halting problem where I halt and catch fire, my stop condition is if I feel confused, I have to ask very confusing sounding clarifying questions.
Well, Chezi joined us, and he's looking super serious. Rabbeinu Yechezkel Shraga Halevi in his office.
No! Wait, does he have the little hat on?
He does have the little hat on. Yes.
Oh no! So this is serious hat time then.
Well, Chezi always wears his little hat.
Oh no, Hezi is a very serious hat then. Yes. No.
Yes. Chezi is a very serious guy. A very serious man.
Okay. I will put on my Final Fantasy Tactics male squire hat because that is a similarly serious hat.
Rocking those Rav Avadia spectacles. Not quite Rav Avadia spectacles, but a little shady. Yeah.
Okay. So yes,
they're transition sunglasses.
Okay. Yes, and I am now in the Gendo pose. For those who understand the Gendo pose.
No idea what the Gendo pose is.
I have tented my fingers. I have tented my fingers in front of my face.
Mary.
Yes?
Okay, we're gonna have to be a little bit more polite in letting other people speak. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Chezi, your mic is worse than Mary's, which is shocking. But
yes, you sound like a very echoey robot right now.
Yeah. Your mic's not very good, Chezi. Yeah, you look beautiful. Your office is this your new office at your home or a new office or?
No, mine is my office.
It's your old office, but a different camera view because I don't remember seeing this before. No, you used to there used to be a on your right side there was a glass pane that your window we would see your workers through.
There's more office back there and more office back there.
Okay, so you were using a different office. You've just changed offices.
Maybe I'm sitting in a different table, but I want to try to fix the speaker though. Sorry.
Try to fix that speaker, please. Yes, Mary, I do not understand all your references, and just for so people know, Mary doesn't have a wrench because she specifically said, "Don't give me a wrench." So I had to take her wrench away because when people tell me, "Don't give me a wrench," I usually listen to them.
Is it better?
Much.
Okay, awesome.
Your video's gone stuck, but don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Hezi looks very beautiful with the light of Elendil shining through his window.
Wow. Lord of the Rings.
But now he is frozen in the empty in some place.
Yeah. You're sorry. Your video is kind of frozen.
He is not a PC Master Race, alas.
I think he's actually. I mean, Well, part of the problem is always his internet issues. While Israel is a tech nation, doing international doing international podcasts as we do is kind of new technology. I mean, imagine if you had said 40 years ago that somebody would be doing something like what we're doing now, where I'm talking to somebody on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast, and somebody from Israel is jumping on and we're having a video conversation. Like 30 years ago, that would probably cost something like $50,000 an hour to do.
Yeah, we have somehow connected through each other. The beast of Revelation is being built right now under our very feet, right? With all of those lovely fiber optic wires going into the sea. The beast from the sea, the multi-tentacled. I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. Hold on, let me untangle some wires.
That's actually a very interesting image there. Yeah, I guess we are putting lots of tentacles into the sea.
Yeah, so we are built.
Increasingly, internet is through satellites, not as much through.
Oh
cable
no,
cables.
satellite dishes, the flying chariots of the gods, the wheels within wheels within wheels. Oh no!
Why? Oh no, that sounds beautiful to me.
I mean, is that a holy vision or an unholy one? Right? That we're literally putting seraphim or ophanim or cherubim or let me think. Hold on. I memorized this recently. Okay.
You went through my entire list of my Discord, all of the various names on my Discord.
Hold on. Let me try to remember this, okay? Because I've actually tried to learn this. So, like, there are the cherubim, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are they guard the Garden of Eden with rotating flaming swords, right?
That's one of the things that the cherubim do. Yes.
Yes, and then there's the Ophanim, the wheels within wheels within wheels, and eyes and wings. That's the throne, right? The throne, the wheels of the throne. Right?
I didn't end up making Ophanim one of the roles on my channel though.
Mark's community. Discord. I am just introducing myself there. I think, right? That's Mark Lefebvre's chat.
Mark Lefebvre, Mark of Wisdom. Yes.
Yes. I am just starting to. Right. So where was I? So yeah, Ophanim and then Seraphim are the beasts that are like four-faced, right? With the wings and holy.
Well,
holy,
that
holy.
is true, but the word Seraphim literally means the fiery ones.
Yes. Okay, and then there's like the archangels, Michael and whomever else, the elves, the sons of the divine court.
Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and
Raphael, and all of those other elves that I barely pay attention to because I'm a Presbyterian.
There's more angels than that.
Yes, there's an entire angel, and then there are like powers and principalities and something like that, right? Powers and principalities. That's a thing. Yes. No.
Well, that's a thing from Paul, and you know how much we love Paul around here.
Yes, but I mean, Our powers of is that that's the Hellenized Jews. That's not Jews.
No. But big difference in terms of theology of spiritual powers between Christianity and rabbinic Judaism or modern Judaism is that there was a lot of influence from the Book of Enoch on early Christianity, and Christians believe in rebellious angels, which is something that happens in the Christian Bible, and we don't believe in rebellious angels very much. What do you mean,
so hold on. So Ha-Satan is control opposition. He
Correct.
is not a
100%.
He is a what's the term here? The double, reverse, quadruple agent that's never on your side. He is in so deep cover that he internalized.
Mary, please let me speak.
Okay.
He is precisely what it says in Job, and if you read Job, without the Christian reinterpretations, because yes, I've tried to walk Christians through Job, and they have lots of ways of trying to rules lawyer things, making it sound like Job doesn't say what it says. If you read Job, it's very clear that Ha-Satan, the accuser, is an officer in God's court.
So Ha-Satan is not a corrupt prosecutor that entrapped humanity with the stupidest entrapment scheme ever.
I wouldn't say naughty, and I wouldn't say
he's not a corrupt prosecutor. He didn't actually entrap humanity with the temptation, and then turned around and accused humanity of having done the thing. No, actually, Christians made Ha-Satan more evil by suggesting he's a fallen angel.
Well, Christians have a problem with this. Christians have a problem with this whole monotheism thing, where we believe that God created everything, and Christians struggle with that very, very much so.
Well, but what's wrong with calling Satan a rebel exactly?
Well, he's not.
No, he didn't rebel. He didn't actually rebel. It's all God.
Being rebellious means that, first of all, that's showing some sort of free will, or that as if he could act without God's accord, which, like Jacob says, you don't see in Job. I'll just mention a few other things. One, Satan is generally associated with Lucifer. Right, that is not the case in Judaism. Right, in Judaism, another name he has is Samael, but it's not Lucifer. Number two, with regards to the Book of Enoch, in the Jewish prism, there are two angels that are not fallen angels. There are two angels that look at humans at the beginning, and they are unimpressed with the humans and their lack of faith and their behavior. And God tells them, you wouldn't be able to do any better. And of course you can. If you sent us down, we'd do a great job. And these two angels, with God's permission, go down, and they corrupt themselves, and they get into trouble. One repents and goes, I think he goes, either he gets stuck in some sort of limbo, or he makes his way back. Another one named Azazel, the first one was named Shamchazai, the second one's named Azazel, and he stays on earth, and this is a part of a punishment for him not repenting. Having said that, though, and this is how this connects to the idea of rebellion. Some of our sages teach that when we bring before the Day of Atonement, when you bring your scapegoat, you offer it to Azazel. Now, some people see it as a mountain. However, Maimonides, the great rabbi, says that Judaism, like Jacob says, of course, recognizes all things because they were created by God. Even the angelic forces or corrupt forces, they too come from God. Now, we cannot, as Jews, participate or worship or sanctify any of these powers or principalities because our relationship is directly with God. However, if God Himself commands us to give a scapegoat or an offering to Azazel, then it's okay because it's happening under the authority of God. One more point where you can see something like this is the famous midrash of Moses, the death of Moses. I won't get into all the details, but at some point, God finally goes and tells the angel of death, aka Satan, aka Samael, says, "You can now go fetch me Moses' soul." And it says that the Samael is so excited about this that he finally has permission to go do this. But the focus is that he cannot do that out of his own accord, right? He needs God to allow him to do these things. And then there's a whole fantastical story how he fails doing that. But the point being is, no, there are no rebellious angels. Humans are the ones that have free will because that's how this game is fair. Aside from that, all go based on what God wants and God won't.
I mean, that sounds more or less like what I've heard before. Maybe not in those exact same words, but like the I guess metaphor or symbolism that was told to me is that, right, the whatever little, whatever name we want to give Ha Satan, he she it whatever right, Ha Satan is more or less God's quality assurance tester, something like that. The job of Ha Satan is, hey, you're supposed to test every boundary condition that God and or mankind has come up with, right?
Yeah, I actually like that.
The city of God and the city of men need very, very rigorous quality assurance, right? And so
I like the quality assurance analogy.
We find that also in our text, right? Which the Nachash is the Yetzer Hara, is the Satan, is the evil inclination. All these things are one concept.
Yeah, that's the funny part. I once heard a Christian say God will never test you, and I was like, what?
No, that Christian did not read the book of James, the epistle of James.
Well, I mean, Martin Luther kind of wanted to kick that out of the Bible, so.
Right, but Martin Luther is not God either. He doesn't. If Martin Luther is wrong, then we ignore Martin Luther.
Hold on. You're telling me Martin Luther could be wrong?
Yes, I'm a Presbyterian. I'm a Reformed Presbyterian. That means I can say.
So if you were a Lutheran, then you would know that Martin Luther is the fifth part of the Trinity.
I don't know how to add Martin Luther to the Godhead as a Presbyterian. I barely even understand the Trinity because the Trinity broke my brain trying.
Okay, but is John Calvin part of the Trinity?
No.
Are you sure?
As far as I understand that, John Calvin does not get to be part of the Trinity either. Right?
Oh, okay.
Presbyterians, we only have a cloud of witnesses. We don't have a communion of saints.
Oh, okay.
Right? So they get to be in the cloud of witnesses, but they don't get to be Saint whomever, I don't think. Saint Martin of Luther, Saint Calvin of wherever. Right? Geneva, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have saints here in Presbyterian country, I don't think.
Well, I mean,
how do you feel about John Knox? Do you like John
Knox? Wait, which one is Saint John of Knox?
I have no idea who John Knox is.
But he is Scottish, and he was.
Well, yes, but but what did he actually write? What kind of thing did Saint John of Knox write for Presbyterians, such that I could unironically call him Saint John of Knox?
He was a leader in the Church of Scotland's Reformation, apparently.
Right, the Scottish Reformation. Okay, so is that a based Reformation or a cringe Reformation?
I don't know.
Right? Wait, somebody quote something John Knox wrote to see if I recognize.
What'd you say, Sandy?
Sandy said something and I didn't hear her. I'm sorry.
Me neither.
And I keep hearing. Okay. I said it probably depends who you ask, especially if you ask a Scot.
Ooh. Somebody is claiming they are all cringed reformations. All right, great. We've killed everybody in upstream of my tradition of cringe. Hooray.
Okay, I do
I am
have to
dying of
say,
cringe.
this has been the stream of bad mics. I have, so this is my old mic sitting on my desk. I have considered mailing it to Sandy. The only thing is, the mail is, it's going to cost as much as this mic did. So I
Yes.
kind of feel weird mailing something that is the same price as the postage.
See, Jacob Fattorecci doesn't want to jump on a plane himself with that mic in his hand, in his little backpack.
That would actually be
In-person
worthwhile.
tech support.
More.
Hmm?
That
would
but
also
that would
cost
actually
him a
be
lot more.
worthwhile. I would get to go to Toronto.
Right? Do
Michael-
it, Jacob. That's
Michael from Toronto Bible Study would be able
I
to
was going to say,
have live Bible study with my other Bible study partner David Busatil and Sandy, and we could have a whole meetup. That could be fun. But
and
Talk to David about
Sandy
it.
doesn't have to convert to a Jew to get this level of tech support. Gasp! We're
You
not
were
doing
saying-
that
you
kind
were-
of transaction here.
you
Well,
You were saying,
Mary, I've
Sandy.
never considered converting, but I did grow up in the back coffee room of a Jewish law firm. So,
Oh no!
sorry. Oh, yes.
Is
Had
that
a great
Jewish
part
enough
there.
to get Jewish tech support from Jacob Fattorecci and his little army of Jews?
live tech support, yes.
Jacob,
Live in-person tech support, right? Where an actual human being is in Sandy's wherever, living room, tech, being a lead hacker on behalf of Sandy, installing whatever Sandy needs. Maybe Linux Mint, the approved
5 minutes
the approved operating
for
system
his trying
of
to
Father
be
Big
sane.
Mac.
Jacob, two things. One, Brett earlier here, no, he will never tempt you. He will allow you to be tempted. In the comment of the year. So you can comment about that because I think we see God testing Abraham. God sending. He says He's going to send prophets that are not our actual prophets to test us. So I think, I don't know about tempting, but testing is happening often. Secondly, since I don't know if you want to be talking about tech support, the Queen is coming soon, and the Sabbath Queen, that is, and we are entering the portion of Pinchas. You could talk about the daughters of Zelophehad, you could talk about zealotry, you could talk about all those good stuff. If you want to discuss Torah, I don't know, you might want to discuss tech support.
Hold on.
So Contrarian Views, Contrarian Words has a very, very good question, which he had to yell at us. How do you know you have the correct interpretation?
Of course, I never know. I have no principal means to determine anything.
Thank
Yes,
you.
correct.
That is in fact the
have-
correct answer.
I have no epistemological certainty. I did not understand IB theory of knowledge when I took it in high school, so now I am very confused.
This is 100% correct. There is anyone who believes that they have a correct interpretation of the scriptures, it misunderstands the scriptures and needs to read them again, because the scriptures are quite clear about the fact that human beings are bad at understanding the scriptures. That does not mean we're agnostics. We're obviously not. Yes, you can know things, but you have to always recognize that your knowledge is less than God's knowledge, and that that you have to pray to better understand and to correct all of the ways in which you constantly sin. And if you have assurance of salvation, then I worry very much about your soul, because the one person I doubt has actually achieved salvation is the person who feels they have an assurance of salvation.
Okay, I have a question based around a couple of topic points here. See if I can tie them fairly quickly into my question.
Okay, I will be taking notes.
You make notes. That's good.
Yes.
You brought up names, so I've been thinking about names and naming, which does tie into meaning, which ties into knowing in a sense. But Hezi was bringing up some of the scriptures when Satan came up in Mary's point, which made me also think, because I've been thinking about names and naming, what is or could be the connection in what we're pointing at in sense of not necessarily being subjective or objective, but simply a relational place in the terms of whether we're tested or whatever. I mean, thinking about certainty, any relationality is a place where to be super certain of anything, I think, does a disservice to the relationship. You need always to be in a place of holding on to the other loosely enough that it's an honor, not a judgment. Am I miles off base in how I'm framing that? I don't know, but it's a real question.
You're not miles off base, but you always do the very roundabout thing.
I even did.
So I think this is addressing what you were saying. Mitch says, if you think you have a correct interpretation, you misunderstand scripture. Doesn't that mean you have an interpretation against which you can measure misunderstanding? Yes.
Yes, the objective reality against which we measure ourselves. Where is that?
There actually is an objective standard, right?
It's called canon.
Well, no.
C-A-N-O-N.
No, because the question then becomes, what is the canon? But
well, yes, exactly.
God's knowledge.
But I mentioned not subjective, not objective, Mary. I'm thinking more in the terms of relational. Relational. Like if I walk, we used to take my kids for a walk in the forest quite a bit. The entire path is the ground. It is the place that you point to as that against which you compare yourself every time you put your foot down. The path on my favorite walks went from sand to stone to small plants to things, and go ahead. I could be crazy, but there is something about that type of walking where you're in constant measurement of yourself and the other, that even within my relationship context is humbling and satisfying both.
Okay, so may I go over a couple things I wrote down? I try to write down less than 5 things. I'm trying to keep myself to 5-fold pattern right now for certain reasons. I will not share those reasons right now, but I wrote down 4-ish things today, I think. Well, no, okay. I will cross off the last one. Just 3 things. Okay. So Sandy, when she was sharing, she wrote something about, right? She made an observation about names, right? That we are kind of arguing about names. Yes, like what names mean, maybe.
I think she was talking about names in terms of the relational, right? When you name something, you are creating a relationship with it.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Let me think about that. Because I have several different things fighting for attention in my brain when you say that. Okay, like the thing about names, I'm Chinese also. 好你好，大家好啊，我是中国人，我的中文不是特别标准，因为我是台湾生的啊，不过呢，我还是会讲中文的啊。I have read, right? I have read my Ancient Chinese virtue ethics. And what up there, somewhere up there in that cloud of ancient Chinese virtue ethics is some guy named Confucius, right? Confucius, I mean, that's not his real name, but don't worry about it. Confucius says you need to rectify the names. Yes? 证明, you need to have, you need to have things, you need to name your things in such that you don't confuse yourself when you refer to it.
In Hebrew, the word Shem, leshema, for what purpose? The name itself has in it the purpose you're trying to. So yes, you have to be very specific about what that is and what that means.
Okay. And then the rectification of names, where poor Confucius, ancient China's first boomer goes, we kids have, you kids have lost the script. Return to the Zhou dynasty, right? Because he thinks the golden age of ancient Chinese civilization was the Zhou, and then oops, that's actually not the golden age. That's maybe Bronze Age, because bronze was the metal that was the most metal of metals, and the Bronze Age, not gold. I don't remember when China discovers gold. But the very first word for metal in Chinese is bronze. The bronze, because I know my Chinese orthography. See, if you guys let me actually stream, on Discord or something, I can pull up my little MS Paint and write you the Chinese word. Well, actually, I can do the link, the Chinese etymology link. Hold on. Yeah, the very first character for bronze, right, is the bronze bell of that era's bronze, very bronze psychotechnology. So that is not the way, I don't think, right? I don't think Bronze Age psychotechnology is all that great. Maybe, I don't know. Does anybody here like Bronze Age psychotechnology? I'm dropping the link right now in the comments. No, it's a link.
Confucius is writing his work at the same time in the Jewish circles. Ethics of Our Fathers is being written.
Yeah, so he somehow, some way, he somehow heard right before the Silk Road is even a thing. Right, because right now, as when Confucius is born, the Silk Road is just a whisper on the wind, basically. Maybe there are traveling caravans going back and forth, but we have not yet conquered, right? China, all under heaven, has not yet placated enough barbarians for that trade route to go anywhere. So here is gold, or metal, right? And this is my Chinese etymology database. Thank you, Uncle Hansi. He's collected. This is a bronze bell. This is not gold. This is the word for metal. So the word for metal in Chinese. Yeah, and so poor Confucius was nostalgic for a past that was actually not ancient enough, because China only claims 5,000 years of history. 中华夏中国上那个天下上下5000年 okay, up and down 5,000 years of quote unquote unbroken something, unbroken storytelling. So that doesn't quite measure up to the 6,006 years, or 6,000 and change, however, or I don't know, right? I do not know how many years anybody else claims right now off the top of my head, because, I was thinking about names instead of time. But yeah, China claims 5,000 years of continuous unbroken storytelling. And a lot of people doubt that because, China keeps breaking herself in the dynastic cycle. and a lot of things keep getting lost. And the reconstruction of that is very, very, very politically motivated to keep China's harmonious society together.
The question is, in that 5,000-year history, in its theological history, is there a claim that you must believe that this is true? One of the unique things in Judaism is the claim is that this, well, specifically about Sinai, this happened. You must tell this to your child. He must know that this actually happened. You must, and having that for thousands of years is very, very unique. So it would be interesting to me.
Yes. China also calls herself Shen Zhou. So God's land. Let's translate it that way. Okay. I'm really bad at translating right now off the top of my head, but let me type the actual characters into chat because I can type that. Shen Zhou. Let the reader understand. And this guy, Richard Sears, Hanzi Shu, he is an excellent, a very good man. All right, he is somebody I would call tonically masculine. That I will leave that for those who understand, because I don't want to talk about that. That was
he seems very, very white for a Chinese expert.
Yes, because he is from the United States of America. And he was probably raised in a culture that told him to pay attention to the world outside of your most inner circle, because out there, even out there, so out there you barely recognize them as human, are God's people too, right? Even the stranger and the guest and the slave and the least of these, whatever you do unto the least of these, you do for me, right? Something like that. The thing that everybody wants to claim is theirs, that we actually came up with that idea first, right? We were the ones that first realized, oh, that's the way. The way is to pay attention to the least of these. And then, of course, then everybody and their brother wants to be the least of these. Oops. Yes, no. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the other thing I think about with names, because I did learn how to code very ineptly, right? The first thing you do in every program nowadays is to name things, right? You're supposed to name all of your variables and your constants so you don't confuse yourself when you learn to code. You're supposed to code very, very organized. So so that future you or somebody else reading your lines of code have any idea what you're doing with your code.
Naming, in the sense that we were discussing earlier, excuse me, I've been taking a class with Vervaeke, and naming and relationships come up a bit. And so are you pointing at coding being a place where the first thing you do is name, as in set parameters around something, or naming is something you do as in what Hezi was pointing at, from setting the purpose or pointing to the purpose? Or in what sense are they telling you this has to be the first step?
Well, it depends. Because I trained myself wrong as a joke. So one of the first serious-ish programming languages I learned was Java. Not even JavaScript, Java, object-oriented programming. All right. I barely learned any other programming language before that. I kind of touched a little bit, right? I touched a little bit good old BASIC, somewhere in high school. I learned the very funny BASIC joke, right? Where you accidentally the infinite loop, and then oops, you weren't supposed to do that, right? I touched that a little bit. I touched Pascal a little bit. I had no idea what I was doing, so I bounced off of Pascal. I don't think I learned C until after I looked at JavaScript and my eyes rolled into my head, into the top of my head, because JavaScript was incredibly confusing, or Java was incredibly confusing to me. I'm like, this is nothing, right? I don't like this kind of I don't like object-oriented programming. I want good old line-by-line procedural programming, right? And then I learned about algorithms. Oh no, computers are too literal-minded to understand very vague language, right? You say to a computer, sudo make me a sandwich. Your computer is not going to make you a sandwich unless you freaking define what everything about the sandwich first, and right, you have to declare your right. Well, actually, yeah, you're supposed to start with the algorithm, aren't you? I don't know, right? Like I said, I treat myself wrong as a joke. So my learning to code sounds totally incompetent because I'm like, don't I declare variables first? Is that right, wrong, or not even wrong?
Well, it goes back to relational, and it goes back to language, linguistics, semiotics, all the current arguments. The reasons that I'm enjoying the Vervaeke class, because one of the first things that would get pointed at was, even if you say to the computer, make me a sandwich, are you declaring a noun or a verb? Are you asking, not even that. And are you asking it to make a sandwich for you, or are you asking it to make you into a sandwich?
Right. All of that stuff where, if I may, again, I treat myself wrong as a joke. So I don't understand punch cards. I'm too baby for punch cards. That's my dad's generation. My dad understands punch cards and version control. I do not. I don't name my versions anything resembling anything competent. I think it's funny to be for every version to just be 1.0. Because I have a certain set of beliefs that says that God does that. God says creation 1.0. It is a feature, not a bug. Tee-hee-hee. Right? I barely understand assembly language because I never learned assembly language, right? I never had to sit with a real Turing state machine and give a Turing state machine instructions. I never learned I never really learned the electrical engineering stuff about how to build my own circuit, right? I never had to do that. I never really sat down with a circuit board and go, oh, okay, this is why you build your circuits this way, right? I didn't learn about gates. I only learned about gates through through a thing called deep rot. Let the reader understand. I did not. I didn't understand. I didn't understand stacks, memory stacks. I only know the memes, right? Garbage in, garbage out, first in, first out, first in, last out. All of those ins and outs. And then it's like, oh, it's not just in and out. It's actually in, out, and Z.
What's the final word? In, out, and
Z as in sleep mode, because that's how you actually build a computer. You can't just have on and off. You need a sleep mode for your computer. What? Why does a computer need to sleep? Dot, tell us about your connection with Hashem. Where do I start my connection with Hashem? Because I want to start with Genesis 1:1, right? I just haven't connected all those dots from Genesis 1:1 all the way down to me yet. But that seems like too big of a book, too long of a story to tell in the limited time we have.
Well, I was going to ask.
Hold on. What do you mean the limited time we have?
Well, how much time do we have, right? How much time do we have to listen to me try to connect Genesis 1:1 to OCD, Abbott, and Costello sitting here in a room talking into the internet?
I'm not aware that there's a time limit. I mean, if you keep on talking forever, like I've kind of, I'm kind of only half listening because let's face it, as much as I love you and Sandy, you both like take a really long time
Yes.
walking all around the block several
Yes.
times, and
Yeah.
then you arrive at the point, and
Right.
so
Well,
like
because
I
you guys
kind of have to.
you guys have no idea what I'm talking about when I try to speed run things. I want to speed. I want to tool assisted speed
Well-
run everything, and then you're like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Well,
So
I mean,
Mary, your
Yeah.
answer to your answer to Hezy's question. I was
Yes.
already hearing it in the what you were telling us about your journey through the different coding languages. I know nothing about coding, so what I was
Yes.
listening to was your not assumptions. You used another word, and it wasn't propositions, but you're thinking in a particular way that you're describing your relationship to yourself, your father, codes, the world. And you were reminding me of why I brought up walking on a path as being something that I relate to. It's very relational because each change in the surface is going to be in relationship to my feet, how my feet are that day, the health of my feet. Do I have any injuries? Am I whole? Things like that. But you actually,
Yes.
to me, are talking about how do you relate to God, who you think you are in how he has made you, and what you do with that. Do you see any, like, do you point to that either to others or yourself when you're in that place of running through that scenario, or do you see
Well,
that?
I hope I am, because I have a pattern seeking brain, right? I have such a pattern seeking brain that people assume I'm some flavor of neuroatypical. And what I just found while you guys were talking, while you guys were trying to sort me out, was my dad's email. If I may share that with the class, I'm going to share my entire window. I think maybe, yeah, I'm going to share my screen. All right, I am going to share my screen, entire screen. Share system audio. Uh-oh. No, I'm not allowed to share it. It's grayed out, alas. Let's see. I don't. Your browser has blocked your screen. Oh no! Click the screen icon in your address bar to allow access. Then reload the page. Dagnabbit.
What is it about the page? What is it
Well,
about
okay.
that?
I have an email from my dad about our family tree. Okay, so I can actually just copy and paste the text, I think. Let me start with a link. This is the link of maybe one of our family. This might be the link. I will post it I will post it into the private chat. This might be my family's family tree. All right, because my dad talked to one of his elder brothers.
It says, sorry,
tree.
the page you requested is not found.
Not found. It is a page not found. Okay. Okay, it is a page not found. It has been dunked down the void. Can you Internet Archive it or not? Do you know what the Internet Archive is?
I do, but I don't know if I would be able to find it.
Okay, well then let me post the family tree poem that one of my paternal uncles memorized. Okay. Let me copy that, and I will drop it into the comments section. All right. So this is a family tree poem, the line of begats that was memorized. Okay. Giant screenshot. I don't. Oh, I can try that. I can try sharing that. Hold on. Let me try sharing that also. Because this is a very long email and I have to be able to read it.
So in your post is a single line of Chinese characters. Is it longer than that in what you're wanting to share, or can you?
Oh yes, this email is an entire wall of words. Okay, let me see if I can share. Let me share an image file maybe. Ooh, I can share image files, I think. Okay, hold on. I know how to use. I know how to do this. I think I know at least how to share my screen, the screenshot of what I'm actually trying to read to you guys. All right, hold on. All right. This is the Lin family tree. So this is my father's house. Okay, because I'm sorry, I get very.
We're not seeing anything.
Hold on. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to share it. I'm spaghettiing a little bit because I get a little bit spaghetti when I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Okay. 99%
So
of you
while
guys are
you're-
not going to be able to read this, but it's okay. It is here for your entertainment. All right. Here I am
Hey,
now
Jason.
entertaining you. Are you not entertained? Blah 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 blah.
Well, I
Okay,
can tell you are.
while
I'm
you do
actually-
that, just a second. I am going to give a Lucky update. Lucky's actually doing pretty well. He had the drain removed from behind his ear. There was a little bit of a whatchamacallit. Why is this? Hold on. There we go.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a hot spot, but I think that's clearing up. And he had the sutures from his chest removed, and in a few weeks he will have the sutures from behind his ear removed, and hopefully this whole nightmare will be mostly over. So
Yay.
here is your screenshot.
Thank you. So yes, and Lucky is a name that is very funny to me because my paternal grandfather also had a dog named Lucky, but that one was a toy poodle. So long.
Well, Lucky is also a poodle, but he's not a
Oh,
toy
no.
poodle.
Not a toy poodle.
He is a standard golden doodle.
Ooh, standard bred. Oh no, a purebred golden doodle.
There's no such thing as a purebred golden doodle. He is 1/4 golden retriever and 3/4 standard poodle.
Okay, so he is a mutt then. He is not a purebred anything. He is just a mutt.
Well, I like to
No.
think of him as my designer dog.
Oh no,
Yes,
you
when they-
got your own designer dog out of a puppy farm?
Not out of a puppy farm.
No, there was not a puppy farm.
Ah,
Okay, so here is this. So here is the text of the next segment, right? This is speculative. I have not taken any DNA tests. I do not want to take any DNA tests except for maybe Maury for something very, very funny. But or like standard ass blood tests for whatever hell is in my blood. But here is the family. Here is the speculative line of the begats for my father's house. So let me see if I can translate that very ineptly.
your
Okay.
father has a house?
Yes, my father has a house. I will not dox my father's house right now because I believe my father.
Well, I
that
mean,
before
considering the email addresses that are on the thing, it
Yes.
might be easy to kind of dox you.
Yes. Any internet artists who want to lead hack my father's house is free to try to do that. Doxed and done. Yes, dox me like a champ. You can find my dad and find me probably. All right, because I love my daddy. I do believe just like be nice to my dad because my dad is 74, I think. His meat sack is old and decrepit, so have some mercy on my dad's meat sack. Anyway, so yeah, what I just posted was the line of the speculative line of begats, and then I will try to translate that, very kindly, very ineptly, and then you can also play along with Google Translate to see how off I am. So let's see, Canton, someplace. Some other place, the Lins of Canton. All right. Our founder Mei Xuan. So Mei is Mei is a kind of flowering tree. Plum, I think, maybe. Plum's staff and his style name was Diving Master, as our founder. He was from someplace, and his father was someplace. And then the line of begats from him are a lot of begats, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 56 begats. Okay, that's our family tree. Our family tree has 56 begats in it, in case we get 50, in case we are blessed enough to have 56 stacks of begats. All right. So at the beginning of the Guangxu's first year, so that's Qing Dynasty Emperor Guangxu. So that's not the last emperor, but pretty close to the last, right? Things got chaotic enough that they were like, oh crud, our family tree got too confusing. We have to rewrite the family tree like this, right? We have to hold on. Let me paste that. Okay. Let me paste that next chunk, because that's the next chunk down, and I don't want to screen cap that chunk again. Let me see. Okay, so here is the next chunk, right? In the first year of Emperor Guangxu, right? The houses of the Lins realized, oh crud, we confused our family tree. We have to rewrite the family tree again. So they rewrote the family tree like this. All right, blah 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 blah. All right, dang, my brain is tired. Yes, the movie The Last Emperor. Are there any badasses in my family tree like Vlad the Impaler? I don't know. I'm getting there. Hold on. Let me get there. Let me try to find the badasses. Do I wear Imperial Don? Does Don wear Imperial Yellow? If Don tries to wear Imperial Yellow, that's illegal. That is super illegal. Only the Emperor, right? Only the Tianzi is allowed to wear that color of Imperial Yellow. Otherwise, you're committing treason, high treason, your entire family line. All right, hold on. So yeah, Genghis Khan is maybe somewhere up. I don't know. I don't know where Genghis Khan is in my family tree. Hold on a minute. All right, I'm still reading my family tree poem. This is just the speculative parts. Okay, like, so let me see. Hold on. All right. Okay, so all right, hold on. So here is the remainder of the family tree poem. That's in the first email. Let me paste it to the chat, and then I will try to translate that. All right. So Erge is my dad's. So that's the second son of my dad's generation. So that's one of my paternal.
I see 1908.
Yes, hold on. 二哥说，当年村中大多是文盲。So my second eldest brother, this is my dad telling me this. My second eldest brother says that in that year, the village was mostly illiterate people, illiterate peasants, local yokels, right? People of the woods. The village, the entire family last name village was all Lin. Okay, so the family tree poem was not necessarily correct. So in our house, my father, that is my paternal grandfather, was from the De generation, the virtuous generation. We are the Sheng, the overflowing generation. Father was born in 1908, the last year of Emperor Guangxu. Oh no. So it more or less messes up with what the internet says about when the family tree was refixed, right? Was changed at the beginning of Emperor Guangxu. The old men of the village taught when the old men of the village taught my second eldest brother to memorize the family tree begats, they might have gotten the new and the old family trees mixed up. So it's possible that the family tree poem says, 得其伦美先以正，得正照宇宙，羲和垂典型. If that is correct, then Zhao Liang, that's Lin Chou Liang Lin. This man is one of the badasses in my family tree. All right, Lin Zhao Liang. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see here. Lin Zhao Liang. This is a name drop I am very proud to drop, because this guy is a professional concert violinist. Okay?
How is he related to Mao Zedong?
He is, I don't know if there are any Maos in my family tree or not. I have no idea. Right? The Chinese Civil War happened, so I am very slowly reconstructing my family tree. All right. So yeah, Yo-Yo Ma. I have no idea if Yo-Yo Ma is related to me, because Ma as a last name, I don't know if that's in my family tree. Again, Chinese Civil War, right? So again, Lin Zhao Liang. Okay, Lin Zhao Liang is a professional concert pianist. I love dropping. He is a badass, a certifiable badass, and he is my Tang Shu. So some flavor of cousin. Okay, like
are there YouTube videos of him playing?
Let me see if I can find his YouTube channel.
Well, I can't play them on stream, but you can put it in the song channel on my Discord, so people can listen to it.
Ooh, he even has a Wikipedia page. Ooh, I can drop that link. Yeah, so this guy, you can dox this guy all you want. He is a violinist. Ooh. And Nero was not a violinist. Nero played the lyre or the lute. So no, Nero did not fiddle. That is Americanism. Hold on. All right, I am dropping that link. The Wikipedia page of my cousin of some flavor. I don't know the actual title, the actual flavor of the title. Okay, hold on. I'm not getting to TLC yet. I'm still up in my dad's family tree. Let me tell the story one step at a time. This guy is my dad's first cousin. My dad's patrilineal, right? So my dad has an older brother, and that older brother has a son, and that son is this guy. So he is some flavor of cousin to me. All right. I don't know the actual English term, because I call him Tang Shu. I learned the Chinese way. Tang Shu. Yeah, Nero played the fiddle in MAGA. Nero only gets to play the fiddle in MAGA country. He does not.
So are you Taiwanese?
No, I am a Waishengren. I am from the outside districts, because, again, Chinese Civil War. I am very KMT coded, but we have not yet gotten to Chinese Civil War.
What's KMT?
Hold on. We are, again, only in 1908, so the Chinese Revolution has not yet exploded. All right? We are going through history now, properly, I hope, without confusing people. So that my paternal grandfather, my biological paternal grandfather, was born in 1908. That is Chinese Revolution T minus 3 years. Okay, T minus 3. So we have not yet. So when my paternal grandfather is 3 years old, then that first gloriously glorious Chinese Revolution goes off. All right, so hold on. All right, let me get to the next thing. Okay, so here's another bad. Hold on. Now this is my dad. Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Let me see. This is my dad. So this is my dad's lore drop. Let me see if I can paste that as a wall of words. Okay. let me drop this as a wall of words. Okay. Oh wow, YouTube even chunks it very nicely for me. Okay, so I'm going to read this now out of my screen. All right. See the attached file. The top part is the family tree according to Quolin's memory. That's that's my dad's second eldest brother. He grew up in the hometown where kids were required to memorize the ancestors from the first generation. 修圣公. There are too many to write them all down. So I only recorded from my great-grandfather. So that's my dad's great-grandfather, Lin Yi Yao. Another problem is that he recited them using Chaozhou Hua. This is a local yokel dialect. All right, some names may not be all accurate. So my great-grandfather, that's my dad's great-grandfather. I have no idea how many greats that is from me right now. My brain is too tired to think about that. My great-grandfather's name, Lin Yi Yao, followed the family tree poem. According to Kuolong, he was a person with new ideas at the time. A Catholic! Oh no! His son, my grandfather, was given a name not following the family tree. Lin Jianting, I think. Hold on. Crud. How do I pronounce this name? I am now too excited to pronounce Chinese correctly. Dang it. All right. Yes, Lin Jianting. I was correct. Yay. I did not actually forget that much Chinese. My grandfather practiced Chinese medicine, pediatrics. My father's original name was Lin Peiran, I think. Let me see. Yes, Lin Peiran. All right. That's my biological grandfather. After leaving town to the outside world, he changed it to Lin Zuomin. All right, because he eventually, and because he was one of the people who could read the Kuomintang. So the Kuomintang. What the heck is the Kuomintang? Crud. What is the?
Don't ask me.
What the heck is the Kuomintang?
It's all Chinese to me.
Yeah, it's all Chinese to you. So let me write that down. Guo Min Min Dang. Okay, the KMT. The KMT made.
What's KMT?
Yes, the Kuomintang, the something party. Okay, the something party of the Chinese Revolution. Right, I typed it into chat. That party made my biological grandfather some flavor of official for that baby's first modern China. Okay, 中华民国, yeah, real baby's first modern China. All right, 中华民国. Goodness gracious, my mouth is going places because of course it is, right? The Republic of China. Ooh, the illegal name that is not allowed to be said in certain places. Because the Chinese Civil War went places.
Is the Chinese Communist Party going to come after my channel after this?
Maybe. I don't know. Are there any Wu Mao listening in right now? Wu Mao?
What are Wu Mao?
So the Wu Mao, okay, so the Chinese, the PRC Harmonious Society, okay. Let the hearer understand. I will not explain that one. Look it up yourself. So the PRC government pays people like 50 yuan renminbi, a pop to go shitpost on the internet for the PRC. And they also spy for the PRC as the shitposters, as the controlled opposition. The PRC lets out of the PRC state machine to see how the rest of the world is doing. Okay. So a Wu Mao is a 50 yuan shit poster on the internet, shit posting for the PRC.
How much is 50 yuan in dollars?
I don't know. Does anybody know the convert? Does anybody want to explain that conversion rate? How much is 50? Right. 50 RMB equals how many US dollars? Does any? Oh no, RM. Dang it! I mistyped. I am the best at English. RMB. That is the.
Not much. It says, oh yeah, 1045 in Canadian dollars. There you go.
So
7.
Holy cow! That is
Wow.
a lot of. That is a lot of money. Actually, that's more than minimum wage here in Florida. For one shitpost, if I shitposted for the PRC, I could make more money per shitpost than I can make an hour working minimum wage here in Florida. Holy cow!
have you considered selling out to the Chinese communists?
Well, I don't know, right? Why would I not sell myself out to the Chinese communists?
I mean, when you think about it, like selling yourself to the Chinese communists is the greatest subversion of capitalist subversion of communism you could possibly have.
Yeah, exactly. So why wouldn't I sell myself to the Chinese?
Sandy, did I give you one of my famous gag gifts that I give my friends? Do you know what I'm talking about, Sandy?
I have had no gag gifts, which is one of the reasons when it comes around to the whatever happens at Christmas time in the Discord, I do not participate. Not in any of them. Not here. Not there. Not anywhere.
Oh, the secret Santa / secret saint. So yeah, we do have annual, yearly things which Trey very graciously does. But my gag gift, which I give to many people, and when they come visit Los Angeles, I often give to people. So I don't know why I forgot to give Sandy one. Is a €0 commemorative Karl Marx bill, which is worth $5, right? Because it's commemorative. It's technically €0, right? But it's commemorative
Monopoly
of
money.
his birthday, and I just find that to be so hilarious.
Yes.
I mean, it is the perfect tribute to it is the perfect tribute to Karl Marx. So I do have a stack of them which I've been giving away to people. I don't know how many I have left, but many of my friends have a €0 Karl Marx bill, which I gave them.
I was more worried that I didn't get to actually meet Shadow, who was around then. And
Shadow was around then. Yes.
Yeah.
She was. I had just gotten her when you came to Chino. Yes. And Happy was up north at the time.
Jacob flaunts all of his pets online. If you go visit him, you must demand to meet the famous Jacob Federer.
The famous pet.
Yeah. May I continue? Okay. So yeah. Right now we are still in somewhere around 1911 or the Chinese Civil War. So may I continue moving forward?
Please.
I'm a little faster now.
Please.
Right. So right. So World War II explodes all over the place, including in China. Right. So China was fighting several different wars at once at that time. China was fighting World War II. China was fighting the Chinese Civil War. We basically went total war in China. That kind of Hobbesian total war, all against all. Four horsemen of the apocalypse, etc., etc., etc. Right? Oh no! Even my poor uncle got accused. Oh no! I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not going to get triggered by that. I am not going to get triggered by that. I am not going to get triggered by that. So, because we are still in we are somewhere in World War II right now. So what question? What day is JE Day?
I have no idea. What's
Or
JE?
when did the Japanese surrender to the United States?
I have no clue.
VJ Day. Sorry, not JE Day. VJ Day.
I have no
I
clue.
fail
Any
on all
mega
these
hatted
questions.
people know in the chat know when VJ Day was, because I don't want to look that up right now and I can't remember it off the top of my head. I only remember the kiss on VJ Day. The very dramatic kiss on VJ.
Oh, is that the famous kiss picture?
Yes, the famous kiss on VJ Day or VE Day, one of those victory days.
I thought it was VE Day.
Maybe it was either VE Day or VJ Day, where Team America World Police finally saves the day against the evil axis of evil.
As one of my favorite what you call it, parody accounts likes to say, back-to-back World War champions.
Yes. Yeah, so VE Day kissed, right? VJ Day ended with 2 atomic bombs delivered to Japan. Kaboom, kaboom. Let me try to perform this properly, okay? That was the light of justice on behalf of all the victims of Japan's Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
Is that really an official thing that, do people actually say something like that?
Yes,
You
over
have that
here.
memorized.
I have that memorized because, well, I did it. I was able to recite it off the top of my head because that is exactly what the Billy Danmu say about the 2 atomic bombs. Something like that. Okay, let me type what the Billy Danmu actually say, and then you can look up what it means yourself. 正道之光 yeah, 天降正义 okay 爽 是王爽 okay, because over here in China we have a place called Nanking, Nanjing, and what the Japanese did in Nanjing was so horrible. Even the Nazis, even the German Nazis were horrified, and they gave their little Nazi flags to hang over buildings so that the Japanese wouldn't go into those buildings, okay? That was how bad the Japanese were in Nanking. Read the book, right? I will not say that book name out loud because saying that name out loud upsets me on a fundamental level. Upsets me very deeply. So I will not name that book. But the book of Nanking, right? This is the response from China about the book of Nanking was 2 atomic bombs was not enough, okay? But at least it was 2. So that's the year of the VJ Day, which is 1950 something. All right, 1950 something. 1950 something. Taiwan returns to the arms of the Republic of China, and then, oh no, the Long March happens, and the Red Army goes places, and then China breaks again. On one side of the Taiwan Strait, the People's Republic of China. On the other side, the Republic of China. And this is why I am not a native-born person in my own homeland. Okay? Because even though I am born in the Republic of China, I am a 外省人. I am from the outside districts because my grandparents, right, my maternal and my paternal grandparents, they are KMT coded as fuck. Okay, I'm sorry for being vulgar right now. I have to be a little vulgar because this upsets me. Okay, let me type this. Let me type what people call me let me tell you what the Taiwan independence people call me. All right. Yeah, those lovely, lovely Taiwan independence standers, they call me a 外省人. They do not, right? They want Taiwan to be an independent country, and then they call me a fucking foreigner. I was born there. Native born there. I was native born. I'm sorry.
Mary?
Yes.
You're getting kind of excited.
Yes, I am getting kind of... I am from outside of the country. I am outside of both Chinas because of stupid tribal politics.
Yeah,
do you understand how upsetting that is to me?
Well, but Mary, you live in Florida.
Yes. So how Chinese am I as a Florida woman? Huh? How Chinese am I as a Florida woman?
I'm
That's
not
a
sure.
different conversation.
That's a different conversation.
just-
So can we move forward in time past all of that stupid Team America World Police shit from the end of World War II all the way to the year I am born? Or do we have to do every single year of that shit?
I am definitely older than you, and I had this conversation in a completely different vein in Discord
Yes.
a while back because I am a first-generation Canadian from Scottish English background, and if you want to ship me
you're
back
Canadian.
where I come from, there's not really anywhere to ship me to. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, move
I
on.
have nowhere to be shipped to either. I have nowhere to be forward in history.
Yeah,
okay, so let me think about this, okay? My mom and dad and their family tree, my dad's family tree I just dumped on you guys. My mom's family tree, I will just share the names, okay? I will just share the names of my mom's family tree because I only know some of the names. So my mom's father's house is this name, right? Look it up yourselves. My mom's mother's house is this name. Look it up yourselves. My mom's name, because I know my mom's name, all right? Because she's named after Yilan. Frickin' stupid tribal politics grumbling goes here. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying not to be very triggered about this. So here's my mom's name. All right, I am doxing my own mother to prove a point.
What's the point you're trying to prove? My
mother was born in the center in one of the cities that is run by those stupid DPP people, the Taiwan independence people. She speaks Hokkien Taiwanese very fluently. She can actually speak. I cannot. All right, 我听不. That's about the one. All right, my Hokkien is terrible. T-O-O, that's about, I can sing that song. I can say tiabo, but I am very not Hokkien, right? I am mostly 普通话, 国语, but my accent is janky and people can, right? When people listen to my accent, they're like, what the bleep is that accent? Because I sound very Chinese to certain people and not very Chinese to other people. And nobody can figure out, well, no, only the most racist people know exactly where I'm from. Do you understand?
Kind of. I don't know that much about Chinese culture.
The racists with their weaponized racist autism can nail down exactly where I'm from when I speak whatever that comes out of my mouth.
I see.
All right. So I actually like the real. I actually like those racists. That's impressive to me.
One of my friends, when my son was quite little, had an adopted child also who was deaf, like my son, and they had adopted this child later in life. They spent their winters in Florida, and when they were in some of the schooling places that they had enrolled him, somebody came up to them and said, "Oh, you're not from here. You sign Northern."
Yeah. And the really racist people can nail down exactly which district of Canada you're from based only on your accent. How Canadian is Sandy Bessie? Ooh, she's probably not Quebecois.
Are you Quebecois?
Oh, there's a comment in No.
There's a
Smitaka
comment.
Bikwa.
Well, what comment
Oh,
did
my
I
background
miss
in
while
the
I
chat.
was? All right.
Just about.
I missed it. I'm sorry. I am not looking at chat right now. That's,
Continue with your family.
So yeah, again, forward in time. We are ever time keeps on ticking into the time keeps on slipping into the future. So my parents are born somewhere around 1950 and 1951. I forget. My mom is older than my dad by a couple months, about 9 months, I think. Because my mom's birthday is May 12th, 1950 something.
Yeah. Don't give your mom's birth date away.
Yeah. Oops. Oh no, that's very dangerous docs to drop, right?
I wouldn't worry that much about it.
Anybody who wants to steal my mom's
my
identity. All right, any elite hackers that want to steal my parents' identity. My mom's birthday is May 12th, 1950.
Okay, Mary,
no?
once was good enough.
Okay, my dad's birthday is December 21st.
Mary.
Yes.
I thought she was going to say, steal my parents. I will willingly give them to you.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but it seems
yes, I'm trying not to be too triggered, okay? And I'm sorry, Sandy, but when you act like that to me, I start reacting very
like what?
When you try to scold me, when you try to scold me for my own good. No?
Yes,
it sounds like scolding to me. It sounds like an ancient grandma going, "You're not supposed to do that, dear, for your own good."
Participatory teasing. We've talked before in other Discord things. You're amazing, Faith. Enjoy. Go on.
Okay, I'm sorry, I haven't learned your signs yet, so you might need to literally hold up a participatory teasing sign for me. Because you sound like a scoldy grandma.
Here you go. Here is the actual sign for teasing.
that I understand that. Thank you. Guys, can't we just get along? No, we cannot just get along. We haven't gotten there yet. We are still in 1950 or 1951, somewhere around where my parents are born to their very complicated family trees. I will not elaborate today about their family trees. Let's just say my biological grandfather had too many women in his life. He was not super straight. Okay. So my dad and my mom were born separately, one in Taipei and one in Tainan. All right. What year do things go smooth out going backwards? The year that what's his face starts moonwalking. All right. Michael Jackson shows the moonwalk in some year. So we're heading towards that year. Okay. Right now it's still 1950, 1951-ish. My parents are born, one in Taipei, one in Tainan. Grumbling about the
what does this have to do with Genesis?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, right? Is my father's family tree connected to any of the begats anywhere in the Bible? Or are we just so totally foreign to the Bible that I might as well give up trying to be any flavor of Christian or Jewish or whatever else, right? Where is my family's family tree in the Bible? I'm ready to
I have an answer for you.
You do.
I do.
Jacob the Jew has an answer for me that says that I'm actually Jewish or not. How Jewish am I, Jacob?
You are a child of Abraham. That's how Jewish you are.
Wow, really? By what standard am I a child of Abraham, Jacob?
By the fact that the Bible says he is the father of all nations.
All nations, really? Not just the Middle Eastern ones.
Correct.
Why?
So let's do a little Bible study.
Let's do a little Bible study. No, you are not allowed to quote anything New Testament.
I wasn't going to.
Okay. Yes.
So Well,
Go.
here before we get to this part, which is China specific,
Okay.
let me see where.
I am Presbyterian. I believe in Jesus. You're Christian. All good. Press X to doubt. See Christian history's entire stupid schism thing. Okay? Because Christianity broke herself several places too. I don't want to talk about that right now because
So-
I haven't finished reading that history yet. Okay?
So
I'm talking about in my
Mary,
bones.
Mary.
Yes, yes.
Now
yes.
it's Bible study time, and you're gonna have to give me time to speak.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So, Genesis 17.
Okay.
This is what God says to Avram at the time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And when Avram was 99 years old, the Lord
Yes.
appeared to Avram and said to him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be perfect, and I will make my
Ooh.
covenant between me and thee, and will
Ooh.
multiply thee exceedingly.
Hold on.
and-
Is this King James? Is
No,
this King James?
This is the Koran Jerusalem Bible.
Ah, dang it. Hold on. I need to read along with King James, okay? Because I like King James.
Okay, you can.
Genesis 17. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me find Genesis 17. Okay. Genesis 17. Read along. Okay, when Abraham was 90 years old and 9. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we're a few verses past that, and Abram
Yes.
fell on his face, and God
Yes.
talked with him, saying,
Yes.
and this is the important part,
yes.
as for me, behold, my covenant
is with thee. Yes.
Mhm. And thou
Thou
shalt be
Be
a father of many nations.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
why his name got changed from Avram to Avraham,
Right.
because
Right.
ki av hamon goyim nataticha, because I have made you the father of many nations.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So,
Right.
in that sense, right, that
Mhm.
all people of faith are
Mhm.
children of Abraham. Now-
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me think about this. All right, because what I read with you,
Mhm.
what I was reading was the King James version I see on my blueletterbible.org.
Okay.
I was not reading yours, right?
Okay.
I was reading what I have, which is let me copy that link. Okay, the blue letter blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, I am going blah blah places. So here it is in the private chat for if you want to look at it.
I've seen the King James Bible. Don't worry.
Yes.
What's
but
your point?
Have you seen blueletterbible.com?
I have, yes.
That's the Bible study tool I look at.
It is a very popular one. Yes.
Right, and then of course, I immediately jump to my New Testament that says, and Abraham believed, right, and the Lord credited it to him as righteousness or something.
Yeah,
like
we're not talking about that right now. We're actually
No,
talking
right.
about something else right now.
Right, because somebody wants to say I'm Presbyterian, I believe in Jesus, you're Christian, all good, and I'm like, no, we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten to the part where I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Yet.
Mary.
Yes.
Can we go back to what we were talking about?
Well, hold on. Let me sort this out, okay? Where the covenant, but see, this is the point. This is the place that I hit a wall called circumcision, right?
You're a woman. You don't have to worry about circumcision.
And will my son need to worry about circumcision if I ever have a son?
Mary, I hate to tell you this, but you're kind of old to have children.
Yeah, but I'm only 47. I haven't actually hit menopause yet. What if God is very, very funny, right? And
If God is that funny,
Yes.
kind of like, which is a funny thing for you to say while we're talking about Genesis 18, because
yes,
that's where it talks about
somebody
Sarah
laughing
laughing and
in the face
yeah,
of
yeah.
God. Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
you know?
if you have a miraculous child, then
Yes.
I don't think you have to worry about his relationship with God.
Really? I don't have
Well,
to
I mean, if
circumcise
it's
that miraculous son
well, I
for
mean,
any reason at
if
all if
God
I don't want him circumcised?
if God is doing miracles, you should be kind of happy that God is making miracles in your life.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if,
yeah, yeah. I
if
mean, yeah, that makes sense to you, right?
yes, if God gives me if God gives me a miracle baby, I can happily submit to the PCA standard of infant baptism. Gasp. Yes.
If God does a miracle in your life, I would say ask God. But we're right now in the
Well,
real world,
yes.
like that's not an issue you have.
It's
Yeah.
not it. Well, it's not an issue I have currently, right? And
Correct.
we're not even in current year yet in story time mode. In story time mode,
I'm not sure.
I'm not
it's-
even born yet in story time mode. My parents just got born. Yes.
Well, no, because
No?
like we can actually live in present time and
I'm not done
understand.
telling my story yet, though. Right? Because you
Yeah,
guys
but
are asking me about where I came from, and I have to tell that story. Where I came from.
well,
you
yeah,
know?
but Mary, like
Mhm.
you've been going for like at least half an hour.
See, yeah, you guys couldn't even last me. You guys couldn't even listen to me for half an hour. So that's very disappointing.
And I mean, Mary, half an hour.
Jacob, I
a-
couldn't
a
stand her and
nice
had to
long
kick
amount
her
of
when she was on my channel.
Yeah, see, Claire says I'm too much for her. Claire understands.
Claire-
I'm too much for people,
Claire-
even just for 5 minutes. Poor Claire.
You know I
See,
kicked her,
I'm
don't you,
very
Jacob?
intimidating for people like Claire. Ha 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 ha. So you better chuck me into the void, Jacob. I'm
So
about to
I do have to say,
Yes?
that it is kind of funny that I have 3 females on my stream. So this is the most female stream anyone has ever had
Yes.
in the history of the universe, as far as I know.
Yes, 3 women, too many. What kind of character is that in Chinese? Do you know?
Three women on a stream, and
Yeah.
2 of them are East Asian women, which is also an interesting thing.
And one of them's a Presbyterian. Oh no.
Which brings me to, if I can find this, where is it? 25:6. Are we on 25 yet? This is Genesis 24.
Yes.
Genesis 25:6.
Hold on.
6. Is this 6?
Genesis. So where are we in Bible study? Oh, are
Je-
you still trying to
Jennifer-
get?
Je-
Are you still? Whoop, I'm sorry.
Yes. Let's go to Genesis 25:5.
Okay. Yes. And Abram gave all that he had unto Isaac. Okay.
Uh-huh. And
Okay.
keep on going.
But unto the sons, the concubines, which Abraham had, oh no, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country.
On to
Okay.
the east country, east of
Wherever Abraham was living, which is
even more
somewhere.
than that. I mean, it could have said it's to the countries that Abraham came from, because he came from Babylon. But
Yeah.
the east.
But Jacob, the earth is round. So if I keep going east, I'm just going to circle right back around here, aren't I?
That's possible, but I don't think they had they had oceanic travel at the time.
They didn't.
and
They didn't
so-
have boats. They didn't have boats big enough to ship people east.
I doubt
like
that very
that?
much.
They did
and-
not no chariots of the gods to spirit people away across oceans.
And so
Mm.
Mary,
Hold on.
For you and Claire, I
Mhm.
think like Abraham sent these gifts to you guys.
Me and Claire are actually very distant cousins, huh? Like biologically. I'm not talking about spiritually or
Well,
symbolically
I'm
or
not-
metaphorically or any
I'm
of that.
not Christian.
I'm not talking about religion, Claire. I'm talking about
worship
ethnicity.
Jew.
You're right. She didn't worship a Jew
Yeah.
either. So as an East Asian Chinese person, allow me to do a little bit of East Asian unethical racism. What does a Middle Eastern woman have to do with me, a China woman, all under heaven, right? Because I think I'm the original people.
I'm not
Okay.
competing with you here. I'm just asking why you're Christian.
Well,
And why
I
you
haven't
worship
finished
a Jew.
telling that story. I haven't finished telling my story. I
Well,
told you my
get to
parents.
it. You don't have to do anything because your parents do it. What if your parents were Aztecs?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you, right?
Worship a Jew if your parents worship a Jew?
I
You
don't.
have the excuse
Have you
of
heard
these
my
white
story?
people, they were forced to, worship a Jew by their horrible absolute monarch. I don't think Chinese emperors did that, did they?
Well, I don't know. How did my parents become? I haven't even got right. My parents were just born. They're barely right there. So let me think about what my mom's family tree looks like.
I mean,
What
why
were
don't
my
you just tell
parents?
us
What were
what-
my grandparents' religions? Do you know, Claire? Were they forcibly converted to any particular religion?
Well, you tell us.
Right. So may I go back to 1950 and 1951 when my parents were born, and I tell you about the religious background.
Mary,
No?
Mary. Yeah, there's no reason to go back to 1950.
No reason at all.
No, you weren't even born then.
So can I jump to the year I was actually born?
Okay, go ahead and jump to the year you were actually born.
Okay, so the year I am actually born, I am born after 24 hours of very painful labor.
Okay,
Because-
Mary,
Yes?
Mary, can I give you a lesson in relevance? Like you
Yes?
just told us a lot of things which have absolutely nothing to do with what you're trying to tell us about. So could
Really?
you
None
stay
of
on
that-
the topic?
What's the topic?
The topic
Why I'm a
is
Christian?
how you ended up in TLC, actually. But yeah,
Well,
why
yes.
you're a Christian works too. But like,
Well, I didn't.
You've told us you've told us a lot about your cousin, the violinist, and
Yes.
I had a very interesting time looking into Stradivarius violins while you were talking. But
Well, right now
it
we're
would-
in
it would be
1979.
nice- It would be nice if like what you talked about was relevant to the conversation.
Well, I'm getting there, right? Because right now
No,
we're
you
still
aren't because you have
What
to take
year? What
steps.
year did I
Okay,
join
Mary,
TLC?
Mary,
What year did I?
Mary,
Does anybody
Mary,
remember?
Mary. Okay. I will let you back on, right? So this is an important thing for, frankly, all of you. Sandy's much less annoying than Mary and Claire. She's actually pleasant to talk to, but all three of you do exactly the same thing, which is you start talking about things that have no relevance. And as I have told Sandy, I do believe this is female coded. Like this is a very female thing to do, which is while you are talking about something, right? We're getting to the point, like on the way, you have to point out every single tree, right? And like you don't have to, you really don't have to point to every tree on the road to where you're going. Okay? So let's try this again. In one sentence, Mary, one sentence. Take some time, think about it. In one sentence, why are you a Christian?
Why am I a Christian? I am a Christian because when I was 12 years old, God was very funny and showed me the sign of the cross in my own room several times over, and the Holy Spirit convicted me of my sins, and I cried like a baby. because I realized that I'm a sinner too. I
Oh,
cannot.
okay, that
you-
is a beautiful testimony that has
Uh-huh.
nothing to do with your cousin, the professional violin player.
Why does it have nothing to do with my cousin?
Have
the
you ever been
professional
diagnosed
violin
with a
player?
mental illness? Have you
Um,
ever been diagnosed with a mental
Claire,
illness?
that's not
yes,
nice.
actually, I have been very professionally diagnosed.
But Mary, that's not relevant, and Claire needs to learn how to be respectful and nice in polite company. That's not how you act in polite company, Claire. Can you be polite, Claire?
I mean, I am happy to share my very, very professional diagnosis.
Well,
but, you know,
I do as well. I mean, I have been very, very open about my mental health struggles because I think
right.
it's I don't think it's any worse having had mental health problems than having had diabetes or having had any physical health problems. But for some reason, if you have diabetes, like people will feel sympathy. But if you have major depression, people will be like, you're bad and evil and should stop talking. And
No, no,
that's
no, no,
not
no.
that's not right.
It's actually even worse than that, because when people when let's see, let me see if I could say this simply. Okay, I do not consider my condition diseased. I obviously do have conditions, right? Conditions that are very upsetting and alarming to people. I do not consider those conditions diseased, because I think the man that diagnosed me very professionally was raised on not very ethical cargo cult science. So he is a modern materialist flatlander that sees me and says I have a condition that needs to be treated with pills. Okay? And the pills were not helping me at all. The pills, cargo cult science. Look up the man who bongoed and warned people about cargo cult science. Okay,
Mary, let's
I'm trying
get
to
back
get.
to the topic.
Which topic? What disease I actually have, or the fact that I don't
No.
think I have a disease?
I don't think either
Right.
one of those were the topics. We
The
were
topic was
actually talking about your Christian witness. Now,
Yes.
now you obviously seem to think that there's a relationship between your Christian witness and your
Yes.
cousin being a professional violinist.
Yes.
What is that connection?
Well, I think one of the connection is that somewhere up my family tree was a Roman Catholic patriarch of the Lynn family line that decided, right, full of new ideas, like, even if I come from a family of illiterate backwater peasants, my son, at least my son, deserves education, right? My
Okay,
son deserves parental investment.
what's the relationship of education to you seeing the cross in personally?
Well, because I was installed with every book my parents thought to install me with, including the
Okay.
Bible, right? And
Okay.
in the Bible is some guy saying, right, something about specks and logs, right?
Okay.
A Sunday school lesson of, when you see your brother with a speck in his eye, right?
Okay.
You actually also have a log in your own eye. Take out the log in your own eye first.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that guy?
what does that have to do with you seeing a cross?
Right. Well, that was the guy that was nailed on a cross, right? Didn't he get nailed on a cross, or is that also a conspiracy of Jews or Romans or Greeks or something else?
Well, depends who you ask, but I mean, I'm still trying to relate like all the stuff you've said.
Yeah.
And I don't see a relationship.
Well, I think that because Jesus Christ died on the cross and came, and was resurrected on Easter Sunday morning, that set off this entire chain of cause and effect that I barely skimmed, such that I'm now a Presbyterian. And one of the
Okay.
spillover effects of that blessing was my lovely cousin, the concert violinist, because his father, right? His father was my dad's older brother. Decided to invest decided to had the funds to invest in that level of education to be a concert violinist because his father, right, and his father and his, somewhere up my family tree is some guy going, I will invest in my son, even if I
Okay.
cannot save the whole world, I will at least invest in my son.
Okay, Mary, I'm
Yes.
gonna break the third wall here.
Okay.
And I'm going to point out
Okay.
that a lot of what we've been talking about actually goes back to John Vervaeke and Ian McGilchrist,
Right.
relevance realization,
Right.
and
Right. I barely
our
said that, I'm sorry.
brains, our
Mhm.
brains trying to organize all the various facts we have
Yes.
into a coherent narrative.
Right,
Okay?
right. So my
And
coherence narrative.
when we don't have a coherent narrative where fourth wall, sorry, we don't have a coherent narrative in our mind where the facts are put together. One of the things that we do is talk to other people or even to ourselves, right? And we organize our thoughts. Now, there's a reason why people with disorganized thoughts are diagnosed with schizophrenia. Because
Yes.
when your thoughts aren't organized, you don't make sense to yourself that much, and you
No.
don't make sense to other people. This is why
Exactly.
Jordan Peterson has a very good definition of sanity, which is the harmony that you have with your future and other people. Okay?
Yes.
I would
yes.
also add your environment to that.
Okay, so can we talk music theory then?
Well,
Since you said
hold on.
harmony.
Hold on. See, and jumping off tangential things, right?
Mhm.
This is one of the things that we often see as a symptom of
Yes. Of.
what some people will sometimes call schizophrenic thinking, right?
Yes.
Especially on the internet, people talk about schizo postings or
Yes.
that type of
yes.
thing, right?
Yes. Yes.
This
I do
comes
not consider this diseased. I'm sorry. You will treat me again. I will not consent to medical treatment for my condition.
nobody's treating you.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
trying to explain
Yes.
to people why it's incredibly important to talk to other people.
Yes.
Because when you have a good relationship with other people and you talk with them, this helps you organize your thoughts in ways that, so I'm guessing everybody here's had this experience. Like, actually think about it, right? You say something and you think to yourself, hey, that was a really good way of putting it. I'm actually going to say that again. And it becomes something you say on a regular basis. Or you Brett. Okay, that's hilarious. Or you say something and you think, okay, that didn't work. That's not right, right? That's something I'm not going to say again, right?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Seeking Genuine is giving me unsolicited advice right now. Let me read that out loud. May I?
So this is another thing we call ideas of reference. He's not necessarily talking to you.
Okay, is
Mary.
this the royal? So is this this is a royal you, not an adversarial you?
This is the third person you. Yeah, you're taking something personally that
yes.
is
Why do I
talking
take things,
about generally.
So why do I take things so personally?
It's called ideas of reference. Ideas of reference is one of the symptoms of schizophrenia.
See, again, I do not. Okay, this is okay. So may I, okay. Let me try to calm down and explain myself now. So you have explained to the entire chat, right? How certain unorganized
Mary.
minds work. May I?
Go
Mother,
ahead,
may
Mary.
I?
While you
Sandy, let
organize,
Mary.
Uncle Jacob, may
While you-
I?
Let
but while you
Mary
organize
speak.
your thoughts,
Grandma Sandy,
okay.
may I please speak? I have words.
Go ahead, Mary.
Okay, so I obviously do have a condition. Okay, I obviously have some kind of condition. I have told my story to Jacob, and Jacob knows my story well enough that he's willing to put up with me speaking like this. Because one of the things that I did to myself was I alienated everybody around. Everybody that just I've alienated several people already. Okay, I burned so much social capital that I was left squatting in the dirt talking to myself since at least the 4th grade. Probably earlier than that. I just remember a very, very, very obvious inciting incident in the 4th grade when one of the cliques said Mary is socially toxic, avoid her at all costs. Okay? So that was, let's see, what year is 4th grade? 1980 something. 1988 or 1989 maybe. Okay? Somewhere around there. Somewhere around
But Mary, don't you know you talk too much?
How would I know I talk too much if nobody talks to me? Right? People.
Surely
That is
people,
a
surely your
very
parents
good
must have
question.
told you that.
So why should I trust my parents when they say I talk too much? When my parents barely have time to listen to me talk.
But maybe your classmates, your friends.
Where are my
People,
okay? What friends did I have? What friends did I have?
Okay, I mean,
tell me I was too
maybe
much?
they don't like you because you talk too much.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they don't like me because I get very
So
when I get
talk
very
less.
excited. When I get very excited, I overshare because I have so
Okay,
few
so don't
opportunities.
overshare. Shut up. Be a better
There
listener.
we go.
No,
right
see,
there.
Claire,
That's
that
the
actually
moment.
doesn't work.
That's
See,
the
this is the
moment
part of
that
the
I go
problem.
off. That's
Like-
the moment I take things very personally.
Okay, Mary.
I'm
so-
sorry. I'm
no,
trying to
this
calm
is
down.
fine because you are absolutely correct. It doesn't work to tell people just to shut up because people need to speak in order to organize their thoughts. Now, I do have I wouldn't call it a solution, but a suggestion that works really, really well. And that's called journaling. So actually sitting down and writing what you want to say, right? Expository writing, thinking your things through. Like,
Mhm.
for example, Mary, what you might want to do is actually, like your father wrote that long email explaining the family tree to you,
Mhm.
you might want to actually sit down and write out your Christian testimony, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
once you've written it out,
Mhm.
frankly, it's probably and you can even, if you want to, you can record yourself and then write it out. You would be able to then organize your thoughts better, decide what's
Mhm.
relevant, what's not relevant, and cut things down. And when you do that, amazingly, you
Uh-huh.
will actually find you will have more organized thinking. You will have an easier time communicating with other people, and people will be more receptive to what you're saying.
Okay, so I actually did that once. Very
Okay.
unedited,
Okay.
right? Very just off the top of my head.
Uh-huh.
Story time with OCD. Once upon
Okay.
a time last week. I have posted the link. This is very unedited, very off the top of my
Okay.
head.
Why don't you actually edit it?
What happens when I try to edit myself? Does anybody know?
you have a very hard time and you start adding other things and moving to different topics, you can't keep on topic.
I was going to say choices. Making choices are hard.
Why? Yes,
Well, for me,
Utlam finally
editing requires
makes
choices.
an accurate observation. Mary wants attention. She admits to not honoring her parents and not obeying them when they tell her to shut up. So, why do I want that kind of attention, children? Chat. Anybody? Any smart person want to internet autismo me and figure out why I want that kind of attention when I admit to being a bad child, right? I am, right, according to Confucius, I am a very unfilial daughter when I admit this. I am a dishonor to my parents, dishonor on my family, dishonor on my cow, right? Dishonor. Why do I admit that? Well, not in public, in this chat full of people.
Go ahead and tell us, Mary. Mary, how about you tell us?
Well, maybe because I have no friends, right? I keep burning social capital, and I'm left by myself, having totally wallflowered.
Okay, can we go back? Can we go back? I mean, I see the journal that you created. Right.
The story of China history.
Yeah. I actually see it right here. So what happens when you try to edit it?
What happens when I try to edit it? Well, I'm like, this is obviously very inaccurate.
What do you mean? It's 27 pages.
Yes, it's 27 pages of me trying to remember off the top of my head the history that I learned as from basically childhood about my own nation's history.
Okay.
Right? But it's actually not very edited. Okay. It's not very accurate to whatever.
Okay.
Right? It's however you want to measure accuracy, it is not accurate. Like, if a professional editor came in here and looked at what I wrote, they would pass out.
Okay, but what happens when you try to edit it?
Well, when I try to edit it, I halt and catch fire.
What do you mean?
Well, let the people who understand the Turing halting problem explain that.
How about you explain to us? You're the one who's talking to us. What happens?
Enough.
What do you mean?
I know what I'm talking about when I say Turing machine halting problem?
I don't know. I have never heard of that before.
Really? Jacob Fatorecci you've never learned to code and you've never heard of the Turing halting problem?
I know very little coding, and Mary, you're not answering the question.
Yeah, but this is why we are a group of people. You will find people here who know what the stopping problem is.
Okay.
I can't. So, all right. So, I guess nobody wants to explain on my behalf what the Turing machine halting problem is. I will be happy to explain it to the best of my ability.
Okay.
I will explain. Some machines never shut up.
Exactly. Why not? Why does that machine ever shut up?
Okay, so you're asking whether NP equals P, which is an unsolved problem, and nobody here will solve this problem for you.
Exactly. Nobody will solve the Turing machine halting problem for me. Every mathematical mad lad is trying to solve that problem and going literally insane trying to solve it.
Mary, okay,
yes?
So what you're telling me is that when you try to edit, you can't stop editing? So
in me are two wolves. One is the pantser. I like to fly by. It's fun to fly by the seat of my pants.
Okay.
The other one is the planner.
Okay.
Who likes who's very obsessive about order.
Uh-huh.
And so when the planner and the pantser come together and try to write a story, I can't finish the story.
Okay.
I recurse myself, right? I've recursioned myself into a recursive loop that calls itself, calling itself, calling itself, calling itself, etc., etc. And I halt and catch fire. I play violin. Hold on, Almond Tree just asked if I play violin. I play the piano. I have a piano right here. I can play the piano.
Mary,
But,
let's
no.
get back to you editing your journal, okay?
Right. So yeah, that 27
Can
page
you
font-
read your own journal? Like sit down and just read it to yourself?
a little bit. I sit down and read it to myself, and then I die of cringe because I'm like, oh no, this is so sloppy. This
But
is the most
that's
sloppy.
really I dare use the word therapeutic, Mary.
What, cringing at my past writing about how
Yes.
sloppy it is?
Yes.
But
That
then
is
what
that is very therapeutic.
Okay, so but then when I edit myself like
Uh-huh.
that, I burn out because I become very, very, very quote unquote OCD, right?
You-
Performatively OCD.
You're so what you're describing, right,
Mhm.
is something that we see a lot. I mean, I have done psychotherapy with schizophrenic people. I'm not
Okay.
diagnosing you, that would be illegal,
you.
and I'm not saying that I am just telling you what my experience has been dealing with schizophrenic people,
Yes.
which is when we are actually doing real treatment, which is helping their so schizo actually means separated, right?
Right.
When we're actually narrative making,
Yes.
very tiring.
Yes.
So people who usually will talk and talk and talk and talk and talk,
yes.
when you're actually sense making with them,
Mhm.
they will eventually become tired and be like, okay, I need to stop.
Mhm.
They themselves stop, right? Because you've helped them their brain kind of coalesce. And
Mhm.
then when they go to sleep and they wake up, they
Mhm.
actually end up having fewer symptoms of schizophrenia,
Hmm.
right? That's why we call it therapeutic. So
Mm.
when I
Uh-oh.
tell you that reading your own journal, especially when you cringe at it, right?
Mhm.
So this is one of the problems that our society has caused, which is we don't remember no pain, no gain, right? Sometimes it's good for you to feel the pain of
Mhm.
listening to yourself or reading yourself and seeing how, okay, this I don't like this, right?
Mhm.
And it is very therapeutic to journal precisely for the reasons that you're explaining right now.
Yes. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't like that kind of unpaid emotional labor for some reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, people don't like it, but it's emotional labor on your own behalf.
Aren't there nunneries with vows of silence? Are there any PCA nunneries?
Mary, Claire is throwing stones. I think mostly because she doesn't feel very good about herself. But
He wants me to go to a no.
Yeah, but you don't need to react to Claire throwing stones
Really?
and
I don't?
making snarky remarks. No, you don't. You don't
So
have to.
she is throwing stones out of a glass house, huh? And so
Well,
I could let her throw stones out
mean,
of her glass house.
Okay,
Yes?
so anytime somebody says something to you, you have
Yes?
to ask yourself, why is this person saying this to me? And usually 99.9% of the time it has more to do with them than it does with you. So this is another thing we see as therapists a lot. Like you sit there, you're not saying anything, and you start listening to someone, and part of what you do in therapy is you just repeat back what they said to you, right?
Mhm.
And then they start disagreeing with themselves or agreeing with themselves, right? And all you were doing was repeating what they said back to them. And you do things like saying, I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. So let me try to rephrase it and see if I understand you, right? And then
Mhm.
you rephrase what they're saying, and then they start having a whole conversation with themselves again, right? Because most people, when they talk for themselves. They're not actually talking to you. And that Claire does that a lot. She's been talking into the internet for like 20 years now, and nobody's listening, and she doesn't seem to care.
Oh no. Why
Yeah.
won't she care about other people talking?
I don't know. Why don't you care what other people have to say, Claire?
I'm actually quite a good listener. I do listen to people so I can work out what the issues are. And Dot, Mary, you obviously are disturbed by your disturbance, but you can't sit still for long enough to figure it out, and your thoughts are disordered, and you try to occupy yourself, and then you
Hold on.
and
Is
it
this
never
a?
ends,
Is this a? Hold
right?
on. Is
And
this
you
a?
try to
Is this,
distract yourself by talking.
is this a royal you, a generic you, or you're actually addressing me now? I have to understand this.
I am addressing
okay?
you
Directly.
and your
Adversarially.
problem and why you can't stop talking.
Objection! 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 I object to that sort of adversarial relationship. Objection! We are not in a court of law. We are not even in a court of public opinion.
No. You don't get where you are. Here, we do opponent processing.
No?
This is what we do. We put ourselves next to each other in a friendly way.
Friendly? We have to be friendly.
Yeah, you have to be friendly.
May I object in a friendly way then? Objection.
Yes, but please understand that putting ourselves against you in a friendly way is what we do around here.
Okay, so my friendly objection is, right, it upsets me on a fundamental level when somebody tells me what you just wrote in the comments. I will not read it, right, because that triggers me a little bit. I am trying not to be triggered, right? I'm supposed to be a grown-up wearing grown-up pants. Right? I just haven't had a chance to best friend fisticuffs anybody, not even verbally, for a very long time. So when my mouth goes places, I'm looking for, right? See, Mary doesn't even listen to her own parents. I am profoundly unfilial, right?
Okay, let me actually correct Claire here, because this is a important mistake a lot of people make, right? So she says, Mary, repeat after me. People will like me more if I shut up. People will like me more if I shut up. People will like me more if I shut up. There are lots of people who say that to themselves. Those are the most miserable people that nobody will like.
Yes, exactly.
People don't like you more if you shut up. People like you more if you actually relate to them, and you can't relate to people if you shut up. If you say things which people can't hear or won't hear, right, then you can't build a relationship with them. And if you say things that people, if you're just saying a lot of things that aren't very relevant, most people will be like, oh, I need to go do something else because I spent half an hour trying to hear Mary's Christian witness, but she was talking about her cousin, the violin player, instead of telling me that she saw a vision of the cross as a child. Right?
Yes, because I was trying to get to where I saw I was trying to get to where I saw the cross.
And this brings us back to you journaling, right? So you wrote a whole 27-page thing, right?
That's just history of China. That's not even history of my life.
Okay. So
right?
What you can do is actually power through the cringe, your own cringe. We must be able to sit with our own cringe, right? And actually read through and edit it. Like, you should be able to tell your Christian testimony in no more than 5 pages.
Well, I can't get I don't know if I can get no more than 5 pages because I once did a PowerPoint witness
Uh-huh.
of my testimony.
Okay.
Okay, because my lovely PCA pastor asked me to present my testimony,
Okay.
right? I will ignore what Udlam says about me in the third person. Even I can't look at the comments right now.
Okay.
All right, I literally can't look at that because that is actually, that kind of third person shade is also a little bit upsetting, as if I
Mhm.
can't read. Anyway, so yeah, I spent a while actually trying to do a PowerPoint presentation
Uh-huh.
of my actual Christian testimony, of
Uh-huh.
like how I found Jesus, how Jesus found me. Basically, I wasn't actually looking for Jesus. At the time that Jesus found me, I was just being mad at my mom.
Uh-huh.
Jesus got me good. Okay, but and then I realized, oh, actually, it's not just that moment. It's every moment since perhaps at least, maybe not every moment from Genesis. Well, I mean, maybe it is every moment from Genesis 1:1, right? Maybe, I don't know, right? I haven't finished.
Well, that's
crunching
the
those
thing,
numbers.
Mary. No, so you should
Yes?
be able to. I mean, you were able to tell your Christian witness in one sentence.
Yes.
Right?
The 12-year-old conversion experience. Yes.
Yeah. So
The 12-year-old conversion but hold on.
yeah.
When I tell the 12-year-old conversion experience, right, certain actually people tip their fedoras and say, actually, that's just fill in the blank, right? The
Okay.
constructionists come in and try to deconstruct my personal witness.
Okay. So
as
who
something.
cares?
Right. Why should I care about those deconstructionists?
Yeah. Why do you
Right?
care about those deconstructions?
Why do I care about the deconstructionists trying to deconstruct my conversion story out of Christianity?
Why?
Why? Does anybody know? Does anybody want to tell
Mary,
me why?
you tell us what
Because
you
that is my foundational tree of life, okay? Or whatever you want to call it. My tree of life is founded on that conversion experience.
Okay.
And if you guys really want to deconstruct my personal founding, right? My tree of life, you want to chop it down and burn it to the ground as modern materialist flatland. Enjoy nuclear fire then. If Jacob would please, nuclear fire for me. No?
Nuclear fire.
Thank you. Right? That's because that is in my moral imagination as my worst possible self. Okay? I know me at my worst possible self. I would nuke. I would just I would just Mario Party mash that nuclear button in the entire nuclear arsenal of every nation on the planet. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's in my moral
Mary,
imagination.
we were talking about why you care about other people deconstructing your
Christian
witness.
Yes,
why do you care?
Because that's the alternative. That's I don't want to be my worst possible self.
Okay, no.
And-
okay,
no?
so hold on. I'm gonna build the connections here because I don't think you
Okay.
made the connections, right?
Okay.
So you have a Christian witness, which is
Yes.
very important to you.
Yes.
Other
it
people
is.
are deconstructing it, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
you know that if they are capable of actually deconstructing your Christian witness, you would be
Yes.
a worse person, right?
I would be such a worse person that I would be the worst person imaginable.
Mary,
Yes. Yes.
if they don't believe your Christian witness, does
Yes.
that mean you don't have to believe it in your Christian witness?
I don't know, right? People are acting very authoritative around me, and they say that I have to submit to their authority in whatever way. The words
Okay.
they use, the tone
Do
they
you
use, the
have
body
to?
language they use. Huh?
Do you have to submit to their authority?
I don't know, right? Why am I? Do I have to submit to Jacob Federici's authority here on the StreamYard?
Do you?
Right? Yeah. See.
Well,
somebody just
no. I mean,
nodded.
you really don't, because you don't have to be here if you don't want to be.
Right. Well, why am I still here then? Do I want to be here?
Because
Submitting
you're
to Jacob
because
Federici's
you're
authority?
among friends, and you like
Really?
being among friends.
I
Yeah,
like being among friends. Why do I consider you guys my friends then?
because we are.
Because we talk to you.
Because you were willing to put up with me when I accidentally triggered myself when I started screaming about total nuclear
Okay,
annihilation. Right?
Claire has a great idea, which I actually agree with, which
Mhm.
is you can get a free StreamYard, and you can actually stream to your own channel, right?
Okay, so
But
so
that's a form of video journaling. But
I've
I will
already-
tell you,
I already tried that. I already tried that several years ago, and I burned out of speaking into the void because I could
Okay.
not speak into the void. I felt insane speaking into the void with
what do you
nobody.
mean you felt it? Okay, see, this is the thing.
Yeah,
You,
but
what
now-
what
but
what
now
you
you
have
have
to
us.
do, what you have to do if
What?
you do this
Is
is
speak
you
into
have
the
to
void
actually
and speak.
no, you have
feel
to
insane?
actually listen to your own streams.
I have to cringe at my own scream. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
yeah, you have to go
Hold
back,
on, let me
listen to
see.
your own stream.
I might still have a clip saved from one of my past cringes. Where I
Okay.
cringed so hard I died of cringe. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can.
Yeah. But let me
You guys talk
tell
among
you.
yourselves, and I will do it. I will look for it. Hold on.
Let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
In the past, when you were talking into the microphone, you didn't know if anybody was listening.
Yes.
This time you have us, and you know we're going to be listening.
Really? Will I know how will I know anybody is listening?
Because YouTube will tell you how many people are watching.
That makes me incredibly
And they will be
anxious.
posting in the chat telling you what they think.
And
That
Claire
also makes me
will
incredibly
leave
anxious.
like 40 comments on every video.
I will halt and catch fire.
Yeah, I
if try to
will.
scream for that. If I try to stream like that, I will halt and catch fire.
You just love the attention, Mary.
I couldn't handle that level of attention.
If you tell us what your channel
however many
is,
years ago.
we'll.
Hold on. I'm looking for the link now. Let me spaghetti a little bit. Right. Okay. So here is a clip of Past Me Cringe. If you want to enjoy Past Me Cringe, that also links to my old Twitch channel. Right. Right now, I do not have the proper tech support to live stream myself to my own satisfaction, because I used to stream through OBS, and then OBS died of cringe, and Windows is dying of cringe. Several things around me are dying of cringe, and I do not have the proper tech support for that. But here is a video of Past Me Cringe. If somebody wants to all die of cringe together, of me having died of cringe once upon a time last week.
4 years ago?
Huh?
Pokemon Emerald version? Is that your channel? No, Dot Warner 17. There you go.
Yes. If you guys all want to enjoy me Past Me's cringe, there it is. There's one of the
Dot
clips.
Warner 17. You have 41 followers.
I have 41 followers. I cannot perform in front of 41 followers. I can't even.
What do you mean? Why can't you perform in front of 20? Why?
I start vibrating out of my skin with all the anxiety, and then I have to go off stream and lie down and sleep.
Anytime you get so tired that you have to go sleep, that's probably a good exercise.
Really?
Yeah.
but it makes me feel worse that when I wake up, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I just did it again. I just vibrated so hard I couldn't even. There's another video if you want to see me also being very cringe that's still on the Twitch. Let me see. What other clips
But
do I still have in here?
do you watch your own videos?
Sometimes, yeah. I used to have an entire YouTube vid channel of very cringe stuff. Let me see if it's still on the internet. Where am I on the internet?
Claire, do you watch your own videos?
I am that much of a narcissist. I will watch my own videos and die of
them.
cringe.
I always listen to them.
You always listen to them and timestamp them?
No, I do listen, but at double speed, I have to timestamp them.
Okay.
Well,
As a
that
matter
is,
of course.
I have to. I listen to myself
Because actually, I find
real time,
I miss out
and then I
on a
die
lot.
of cringe in real time.
Okay,
let me see.
Mary, let Claire
Yes?
speak. Claire, you were saying
No,
you
just
find
force
what?
yourself to listen to them.
Yeah.
Yes, I have forced myself to listen to myself.
I force myself to, and then you just get better at saying what you want to say.
You do.
But I mean,
This is
you're
very
obviously trying to express
I have to take this
something.
phone call, sorry.
People talk as a kind of displacement therapy, and a lot of this talking is people think that by talking eventually the problem will come out and with it the solution. That's why so many people are not online, almost permanently complaining, and obviously it's you.
Are you speaking generically, or are you okay? Thank you for letting me confirm that you are speaking.
Well, I'm addressing you and your problems.
No, see, this is exactly no. You do not get to address. You do not get to address me and my problems because you obviously have no idea what my real problem is. You assume my problem.
What is your real problem? Okay, you can contradict me and say
I am
wrong.
not. Yeah. You don't see. You won't listen to me when I'm trying to Okay, so my most current real problem is that my very lovely parents are probably going to die of old age very soon. Like, whenever God decides to call them home, they will go home, right? And because I'm their 47-year-old unmarried virgin daughter, they don't want to leave me any of their unfinished business. They think I can't handle their unfinished business. Okay? My baby brother is 38 years old this year, I think. Okay? I'm 47, he's 38, I think. Somewhere around there. Okay? He is married, he has a family, he has his own family. So my parents, again, don't want to leave either of us their unfinished business. Them handling their unfinished business for us is upsetting me. Okay? This is the death of my world.
What do you mean by unfinished business?
My parents have a lot of unfinished business.
What do you mean by unfinished business?
Well, my parents are trying to sell whatever they have.
Can you give an example of what you might mean?
Okay, so there is an apartment in Taiwan that my parents have been trying to sell to get it off their hands so that it doesn't go to Republic of China's estate court. Okay, because they think I can't handle going to the Republic of China to stand in an estate court to say me or my brother should handle my parents' estate after my parents die. Okay, they were originally going back to Taiwan to sell that apartment. And then they heard from the actual tenants in that apartment saying, oh, we sued our stupid house flipper, right, who was trying to turn us into a stupid condo. But all they did was sit on the property and do nothing with it. And so we had to sue them in civil court to get the rights of this property off their hands. And now we are waiting for a new house flipper to flip this thing into a better arrangement. Okay? my parents think that it's a better investment in the future at 75 or 74, however they are this old they are this year. I can't even remember, because they're old. They're old enough to know that they are mortal, that they can't leave me this mess. Okay, they think I am fundamentally incapable of handling this mess on their behalf as the executor of their estate. Okay, I am not the legally defined.
Trust with your brother.
My baby brother
There
also
are
has his family.
I guess.
My baby brother also has his family, so my parents also feel bad about naming him as the legal executor of their estate. They're trying to handle their estate themselves before they die, okay? And the fact that my parents are going to die of old age is very, 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 very upsetting to me. So anything that
my mom died at 90, 2 years ago. And I was down as an executor with my sister. And you're right, these are very upsetting places. I can hear at least 4 to 5 threads of all sorts of different things going through this problem, just having lived through some similar places myself. And I don't know that all 5 of those threads can be woven into one tapestry to create a single solution. For my mother, within my situation, there were at least several things that happened. My sister, who is also younger than me, took over the estate thing because she had done it before for someone. And because timing wise, that was the wise decision for me, because I had, besides that one situation, at least my partner had recently died the year before. When you start interweaving things, which I tend to as well, Jacob can attest to my conversations, trying to make sense of, creating a massive tapestry that doesn't just look like a giant knot. Sometimes it's really hard, and I'm about 5 years post and still working through some of the grief places of frustration, as well as loss, as well as regret, as well as factual things that needed to be problem solved. And yeah, maybe anger is a really good thing, but not necessarily to create the solution. And in relation to what Yoav and Jacob were saying, is, for me at least, I have found this to be an incredibly safe place, not necessarily always on live stream, but an incredibly safe place to have an ability to look at which thread am I pulling now, and how do other people see that happening? Am I actually pulling the thread I think I'm pulling? And is that the one that I need to deal with, and in which order? This to me is a good conversation in the sense that it gets at issues like this that everybody goes through in some respect. Maybe they don't all have as tangled a piece of, they don't all have as tangled a tapestry or a giant knot as I have presented at times, or maybe that you are presenting now, but we all can relate to those places.
Sandy,
and so yes,
I think
listening can happen.
Mary is
important. Claire.
I'm just saying
you
that
said stuff to me
Mary
too.
was.
Fine, that's good.
What's that?
I'm simply laying a second tapestry beside the first. What she's describing is very valid, and I don't think harsh shutdown.
I think you've just upset her even more by interrupting her. If you read the chat,
perhaps.
By
Yes.
Talking about your issues when this is supposed to be about her.
In relation to, like Claire, if I was saying to you on my behalf what Mary said to you, I choose friends who can be blunt. I don't want friends who can be harsh in the sense of being caustic. There is a difference.
And I love having blunt friends, and I love having people listen. And I really hope, Mary, that you find this place to be a place of value. Don't just disappear.
I want to say, I went briefly into your YouTube channel, and I see that 4 years ago, you have posted some video, and Paul van der Klee replied to it, and Grim Gris replied to it. So it's a pity that that conversation didn't continue for 4 years. But if you don't know the group, Paul van der Klee and Grim Gris are 2 major chieftains. So it's not that all of us will listen to you. Our managers will speak with you. So please stick with us.
I mean, okay, so I was willing to let Sandy interrupt me, right? Instead of trying to scream over her, because I was willing to trust that Sandy had something, right? Because I could feel myself losing control of my emotions. I was feeling it happening in real time. And I was like, okay, obviously I need to take a deep breath and calm myself down and just let Sandy talk for a little bit, right? But I actually wasn't all calmed down. That's why I ended up typing in the chat that, I actually wasn't done, right? I actually wanted to express my very intense distress that my parents apparently can't trust me as the executor of their estate. They are willing to, at 74 and 75, doing something as taxing, as emotionally and physically and however taxing on them, to fly from Florida to Taiwan. This is like a 24-hour trip to deal with the paperwork there, so that I don't have to do it for them after they're dead. Okay? Like, the fact that they're going to die is already upsetting to me, right? The fact that they're doing this to themselves for me is also very upsetting to me. And then when they cheerfully go, live as if we're already dead, right? As part of that kind of black humor that happens in families, I go, am I supposed to take that seriously, right? Am I really supposed to live as if my parents are already dead? Because when I live as if my parents are already dead, it also upsets them. One of the times I went off in BOM was because my mom made a face at me because I told her, right, sorry, Mom, I can't wait for you to handle something that's been living it rent-free in my head for several years now. I am handling it by myself if I have to, right? I can do it out of sheer spite if I have to, because I told her several years ago that I have issues about this house, right? I have a to-do list that's as long as Orange County, Florida is wide about the issues in this house. I want to live in this house for the rest of my natural life, right? And so I'm like, well, I see all sorts of unaddressed issues that might need addressing soon, soon TM, preferably before the hurricane moves in and shows the problem for me. Because, I live in freaking hurricane country. We built on sand in the middle of a swamp, right? All sorts of civil engineering boundary problems I see here in my own house. So I said, okay, I have learned just enough DIY to doom it myself. Ha 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 ha. And then so I told my mom, right? I was very excited. I was like, yeah, Mom, look at how well I've organized my house. Just very, very, baby's first engineer, right? Very baby's first civil engineer. I am engineering my house into some semblance of order. And here, look, I am taking apart the porch that I have been saying needs to be taken apart for at least 3 to 5 years now because all the underneath wood is slowly rotting away. I don't want to wait for a hurricane to tear this thing apart on my behalf. That sounds rather
And they
frightening.
weren't happy.
They weren't happy about the fact that
Did
I
you
was
consult them
doing it
before you
myself.
did those work?
No, I told them. I told them 3 to
Did
5
they
years
complain
ago.
about the quality of the work?
What about the quality of
Right,
me
so-
doing this myself? Hold on. So 3 to 5
Yeah.
years ago, let me talk, please. Do not interrupt me, please.
Oh.
3 to 5. Yeah, you want to talk too, don't you? Yeah, listen. Please listen to me first, and then you can share what you have to share.
I want you to
can
get to the
take
point.
it
I don't want to hear a long story.
You don't want to hear a long story. Well, unfortunately, the story is a little bit long. The long story is
No,
TLDR.
can you avoid long stories and answer?
So you let me talk then.
Yeah,
Will you
exactly.
Let me actually
So
the story is 5. Okay, so I'll try 5 points.
because
Okay?
you never get to the point.
Let me get to the point then. I have 5 points. Okay. 1, 3 to 5 years ago, I told my mother that the wood underneath my outside porch was rotting. I could see it. I could see the wood rotting from underneath. Okay. 2, 3 to 5 years ago, my mom said, "Okay, I will. Don't do it yourself. I will ask a friend to do it for you." That was 3 to 5 years ago. Okay, 3 to 5 years.
Was it done well?
Years ago, huh? No, she never
Was the
called
work
in
done
a
well?
friend. What work? The work of taking
Okay,
the
so it was
porch
never
apart.
done. It was never done.
It was 3 to 5 years ago. I told my mother about this problem. 3 to 5 years ago, she said she was going to ask her friend about this. 3 to 5, and then so in those 3 to 5 years, nobody ever showed up to take this porch apart for me. Okay? So now that my mother and father said very cheerfully as part of our family black humor, "Oh, go ahead and live as if we're already dead," right? I went, okay. I took them at their word. I took that seriously. I started taking apart my porch. That's point 3. Point 4, my mother found out that I'm taking apart this porch. She went,
What
really?
What did you expect?
What did I expect? What did I expect?
Yeah, so
Right?
so if you want to honor your parents, don't you think you should stop being such a worry and a burden to them? Why don't you try and get
Point
better?
5.
Why don't you fix yourself?
How do I not be a burden to my parents when everything
Shut the
I do
fuck up.
seems to be one? No.
Yeah, it doesn't just annoy your parents; it annoys everybody, right? And you know
Objection.
it, and you won't stop because you think you have a right to annoy everybody.
Why don't I have a right to annoy everybody? Objection.
Well, I mean, if you cared about your parents the way you pretend to, then you would
Objection.
obey them
Objection.
and you
Do
would
I
stop being
care about
such
my
a
parents?
worry and a nuisance to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you do. You just, you
Objection.
tend to
Hold
cry
on,
and
hold
shout
on,
after
hold.
years. You don't.
Okay. So time for a break for the both of you. Nobody has a right to annoy anyone, but people have a right to speak when they want to speak. Okay? Now, they don't have a right to be listened to. Right? So if you want to speak, you can, but not everybody has to listen to you. Okay? If you want people to listen to you, you should be polite and try to keep things polite and sociable as much as you can. That doesn't mean you always have to, but you generally want to. Okay? Now, I am going to let both Mary and Claire back into the room if they can promise that they will try to be polite. Okay? So, Mary, can you promise you will try to be polite?
I mean, you know, Uncle
Yeah,
Jacob
yes
is
or
very
no?
good.
Will you try to be polite?
To the best of my ability. That's all
That
I can
is
promise.
all I ask is that you try. Claire, will you try to be polite?
I won't speak anymore. I think I've said what I need to say. Thank you, Jacob. I'll actually leave
Okay.
so that you guys do your fun. But thanks for having me.
That is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine, Claire.
Ooh. Somebody has admitted a confession. May I read it out loud?
Sure.
All right. So somebody who will rename unnamed.
Her
I
name is
confess
Dawn.
I sometimes feel the same way Claire does. I would just never say it out loud. This is frustrating. Woo! Claire said the quiet thing out loud. Woo!
Well, I mean, I have to admit I haven't been listening to this entire conversation because I did have to take a phone call.
Yeah.
So I did miss at least part of it, and I
hold on.
But,
well, I actually might have to leave. I just heard somebody knock on the door. You guys jam without me. Go.
And the phone call was, I got a job. Yay. I am going to be officially an associate clinical social worker at an intensive outpatient clinic. So we'll see how that works out. Laura's here. Hey, Laura. How you doing? Chazi says enough. Jacob, stop this. What am I stopping?
You can go back to whatever original subject you wanted to discuss 10 years ago.
I mean, it's a just chatting stream.
Yeah, you said something about somebody that you might mention.
Oh, James White? I mean, I guess we could talk about James White.
Who's that? Just tell me who's that and what's the subject. Okay.
So James White is actually somebody I very much respect. And right now, because he is a thorough researcher. So James White, actually, I can play the clip.
I'm not sure who Fatorecci is. I can't tell.
So that's Dr. James White. And if James White ever notices me, I'll be like, yay, Senpai noticed me. And I will actually fangirl, unlike the fact that I, despite what people claim, I did not fangirl when Gavin Ortland came on. I was just being respectful. This clip, yeah, I use this clip a lot. It's one of my favorites, actually.
I'm not sure who Fatorecci is. I can't tell.
So the fact that he says he's not sure who Fatorecci is means I think he's actually watched my channel. And the reason I believe he's watched my channel is he, unlike anybody else, well, unlike the vast majority of people on the internet, actually does his homework. And he's going to have a debate with Father Stephen in March, I think it is, in Arkansas. He's spent the last year trying to understand Eastern Orthodoxy better, which means that he's been listening to Father Stephen stuff, which means that he may have listened to some of my Father Stephen videos, which, frankly, is a great honor. And when Keith Foskey was out, I was on my channel. I did ask Keith if he could pass on some information to Dr. White. So I listen to Dr. White pretty much constantly because I do try to understand the Calvinists. I still don't understand Calvinists, despite the fact that I've listened to many hours of Dr. White. I probably should get his book, The Potter's Freedom, and try reading it. But my guess is it's going to be the exact same thing that I always read from Calvinists. I would be surprised if there's anything new in it, but I've been definitely tempted to read it just so I could say I have read it. Anyway, so James White has started on his Eastern Orthodoxy kick, right? And he's going to do his first 2 debates on Eastern Orthodoxy. Claire wants to come back. Claire, you're welcome back, but you do have to. I do have to ask. Do you promise you will try to be polite?
Yes. I wanted to discuss Calvinism actually, because I've done a bit of research into that. That's why
I
came
thought
back.
John Calvin
Not-
already got killed with cringe. We've already killed John Calvin with cringe.
We have not killed. I mean, there are 2 people I try to kill every day: John Calvin and Martin Luther. Unfortunately, they are both still alive.
Why? Why are they still? Aren't they already dead and their corpses buried somewhere? Can't we just dig up their corpses and very dramatically destroy their corpses in public?
That I have no interest whatsoever in physically killing them. I'm pretty sure they're dead that way. Unfortunately, their
the meme is not dead yet.
Yes, their spirit.
Why is it your job to kill the meme?
Because
with
they
cringe?
were horrible people.
Really?
Yes.
Horrible Jew-hating people, yes? That's why you
Well,
want to kill them with cringe?
Luther was very much a Jew-hating person. That's not the only reason he was a horrible person, but that is certainly my main beef with Martin Luther.
Yes, okay.
John Calvin.
I suspect strongly for Jacob, this place hits that spot where we go, is it a job, a career, or a calling?
Yes, exactly.
It's a calling. This is definitely a calling. Yeah.
So if is it a divinely appointed calling?
I believe so.
So did an Orthodox rabbi anoint you for this calling?
No.
No.
I have not been anointed. No.
You have not been anointed by any recognizable Jewish authority for this divine calling.
Correct.
Oh no. Well, I mean, I guess we can. Okay, so how do you want to kill Calvin with cringe today? Over Cerebitus, or over Tulip, or over?
Well, okay. So
what do you want to kill him over?
This is usually the outro to my channel, but might as well play it here because it's one of my favorites. I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry, Reverend. Thank you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes that devil's advocate thing too
Isn't
far.
there a proverb that says something like, "Don't answer a fool according to his folly."
But there's a proverb that says, "Answer a fool according to his folly."
There is. Exactly right. I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, good.
Thank you, Reverend.
Good to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Just remember that Claire wanted to say something.
Yes, Claire. What did you want to say?
Thank you, Yoav. I don't know if it's a bit late in the stream to be discussing Calvinism, which is such a heavy subject. You know, this is the 4th hour, after all, of your stream. and maybe people are getting a bit tired. But yes, the predestination thing, why Jefferson hated Calvinism so much.
Double predestination.
and,
Calvinists
Calvin,
don't just believe they don't just believe in predestination. They believe in double predestination.
Whoa, how doubly predestined am I? if I'm a Reformed Presbyterian.
Perhaps you could explain the double predestination thing.
So, Sure. So apparently, a lot of Christians, God have mercy on their souls, believe in predestination, meaning that before the creation of the world, God had chosen some of them to be elect and go to heaven, and through his grace. And so those people definitely are predestined to heaven. But that's single predestination. Double predestination is God actually chose some people to go to heaven and all the other people to go to hell. So this is my meme of Calvinist conversations with Calvinist Jesus. So the young man goes, "Master, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Calvinist Jesus answers, "Nothing, as I've assigned you to hell."
Yeah, so Calvinists don't read their Bible very well. So Calvinists need to die of cringe and read their Bibles better as Reformed.
But you're a Presbyterian, Mary.
Yes, I am Presbyterian. I am still, despite my inability to understand double predestination, a member in good standing in my PCA congregation, because my PCA pastor said, pray about it, ask the Holy Spirit, right, to help you understand this, because I'm still trying to understand double predestination. And I'm like, okay, even supposing this were true, right? Even supposing there is a Lamb's Book of Life for all the saved and everybody else is predestined for hellfire, right? Whatever flavor of hellfire you want. I mean, I'm a fan of the eternal conscious torment variety for reasons. So let's say that, right? Let's say that in the Book of Life are all the most definitely saved people, everybody else, eternal conscious torment and forever hellfire, okay? Supposing that's true, just hypothetically, I think we're all smart enough to understand hypothetical situations here. Even
Brett,
that
I'm not sure, Brett, if you're saying that we're misrepresent. I mean, I try to represent Calvinists as best as I can,
right?
But
I'm the Reformed Presbyterian in this chat.
As I understand Calvinism, it is the greatest blasphemy I have ever encountered. It is spiritual poison. It is psychological poison, and it will kill you.
So here is my counter offer as a Reformed Presbyterian. Even assuming this is true, okay, the worst possible version of Calvin double predestination you can imagine, which is what I just floated, right? Okay, even supposing that were true, how do you know your name is in the Lamb's Book of Life?
Right. So that gets into assurance of salvation, which is something we started talking about much earlier. Which
right? How can you be sure you are in the Lamb's Book of Life? That's the joke. You can't.
If you have assurance of salvation, which both Gavin Ortland and Dr. James White claim that they have, I can tell you that because you feel assured in your salvation, you are one of the people I would put least likely on the list of actually being saved. Which is painful to say, because I know a lot of nice people who think they have an assurance of salvation, and that is one of the most dangerous beliefs anyone could ever have.
this is why in the Gospels, some guy tells a story that ends with the God of the universe, right? The guy who claims to be the God, right? That one true God, right? Some guy claims to be the son of the only begotten son of the one true God, and he tells a story where that son of the one true God says, "Leave me, I know you not." Right? What the heck does that mean? What does it mean for Jesus, who claims to be the son of the begotten, right? The only son of the only begotten son of the one true God, to not know who you are?
Okay, I am going to do the Jacob thing. So
Mhm.
here we are on Safaria.org.
Mhm.
Safaria.org, great
Yes.
website. It's free.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't even have to create an account, but I highly
Right.
recommend it.
Right.
And if you go to the Mishnah, right?
Okay.
In the Mishnah, if you go all the way down to the order of damages, Seder Nazikin, right? There is a there are 6 chapters. Only 4 of them are actually part of the Mishnah. There are 6 chapters called Pirkei Avot, right? And so this is, I highly, highly recommend any Christian who wants to understand what was the environment in which Jesus and Paul were speaking, that they should read at least the first 2 chapters of Pirkei Avot. It's the section of the Mishnah called Avot. It is one of the oldest. It is likely the oldest part of the Mishnah, and it is quite likely. I don't think any reasonable scholar would say that those things which are recorded in the first 2 chapters were not common sayings that both Paul and Jesus and likely all of the apostles had heard of and were aware of. So I highly, highly recommend reading the first 2 chapters of at least the first 2 chapters of Avot, and it does speak about your assurance of salvation.
So sorry to interrupt, but it just said now specifically, don't talk much with women.
Yeah, right. So that's one of the no. So what it says is al tarbes sicha im ha'isha, right? And it's actually talking about speaking too much with your wife, right? So
no, there was a clarification after that.
What?
They say with any wife, any women, and especially not with your wife.
Right.
That's what's written there.
Well, yes. And it says be'ishto omer. I mean, we can look it up. It was 1:9, is it? Which one is it? Where was it? I don't have it. It is in the first chapter because we always get to it and people always lose their minds because they always do. Here, let me see which one it is.
Okay, well, while he's looking for that, may I share what the verse I finally found? That one of the verses that I found. Right, I posted it into chat. The parable of the wise and foolish virgins.
Yeah.
Matthew 25, chapter 25, verses 1 to 13. May I read that while you're looking for your thing?
Sure, go ahead and read it.
Okay. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. That they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they were to buy, the bridegroom came, and that they were ready, went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. The word of the Lord. So yeah, I kind of know my Bible reading ritual, sort of, maybe. I don't know.
Very, very nice. So Brett, I have to say, while I have invited many Calvinists on the channel to try to explain Calvinism, nobody frames it accurately. You are 100% correct, because it's impossible to speak blasphemies like Calvinism with accurately without it's impossible without being like ugh. And
so again,
despite all the ways that I have tried, like the one person who used to come on my channel and defend Calvinism, he's actually an Eastern Orthodox, moving to the Eastern Orthodox Church now. He no longer believes in Calvinism because I'm sorry, but like it's really, really bad.
Right. So I'm a Presbyterian of the PCA. May I please repeat the question I gave to everybody? Right.
What was your question?
So again, right, supposing the worst possible version of Calvinism were right, the everything, right, the you are in or you are on the list or you are not on the list, and if you are not on the list, you go to eternal conscious torment hell. Yes.
Right.
How can any kind of Calvinist be sure they are in the PCA book, or in the Lamb's Book of Life?
They can't.
They can't, right? So the ones that act sure that they are in the Lamb's Book of Life, they are what we call not real Calvinists. Ha 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 ha.
Well, I mean,
no?
it's really horrible in many ways, because Gavin Ortland will keep so.
But is
I
Gavin?
Mean, hold on. You can't say James White isn't a Calvinist. I mean, he's a Reformed Baptist. He's a Reformed Baptist. And he's the biggest defender of double predestination. And he keeps on saying he has peace in Christ.
Yeah.
And how he has that peace is, frankly, completely incomprehensible to me. And,
this is because you're not a Reformed Presbyterian.
No,
you
that's
are a
not,
Jew. And
no.
You know, you understand the verse, I create good and evil differently. Right, what God says in the book of Isaiah.
Okay, Mary, you know what? We're going way off track. Let's go back 1 second to the Pirkei Avot. So this is 1:5, the one Yoav was talking about, and I pulled it up because I wanted to show he's actually flipped, as many people do, the emphasis. Right. So I should probably read it in English because. So Yosef ben Yochanan, a man of Jerusalem, used to say, let thy house be wide open, and let the poor be members of thy household. Engage not in too much conversation with women.
Gasp.
They said this with regard to one's own wife. How much more so does that apply with regard to another man's wife? From here, the sages said, as long as a man engages in too much conversation with women, he causes evil to himself, he neglects the study of the Torah, and in the end, he will inherit Gehinnom, which is hell. I think, I mean, trying to explain this comes a lot of times, but I highly recommend to any man out there who is married, remember, do not increase the chatting with your wife, because it's a bad idea. That's not the same
Yes.
as saying don't talk to your wife. You should actually talk to your wife a lot.
Don't make your wife into a garrulous she devil. You'll hate that. Book of
That too.
Proverbs. You
Now the one that I was actually pulling up was Mishnah 2:4, right? And this is Rabban Gamliel, right? Not the I don't think, is this Gamliel the first? I don't think this is this may actually be, it says Benoshel Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. So I guess it was Gamliel the first. So he would say do his will as though it were your will, so that he will do your will as though it were his, capital H, his. Set aside your will in the face of his will, so that he may set aside the will of others for the sake of your will. Hillel said, do not separate yourself from the community. Do not trust in yourself until the day of your death. Do not judge your fellow man until you have reached his place. Do not say something that cannot be understood, trusting that in the end it will be understood. Say not, when I shall have leisure, I shall study. Perhaps you will not have leisure. So do not trust in yourself until the day of your death. Yeah, that's the Jewish answer. You have zero assurance, and until you die, you have to always doubt that you will be able to finish the race well. Yoav has commentary. No, Yoav does not have commentary. Dot is furiously typing away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, because while I'm trying not to interrupt people, and I
That's very good.
Yeah, because when I literally left the room because somebody had been knocking on my door, that was FedEx being very professional. So I was like, yay, professional people being very professional. So I came back in a good enough mood to read the comments again. And so while Jacob was talking, I half tuned him out to read comments.
Very
right?
nice.
Sorry, some of your words went in one ear and many of the words went out the other. So
don't worry, it wasn't very important stuff.
Okay, so while the comments scroll went blurt, right? And so the last question that got handed to me was, do I ever worry about being saved? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so I was going to type an entire wall of words, and then the way the psychotechnology I developed against the worry that I'm not really saved is that number one, right? Number one, if I really am lost, then nobody would bother me about whether or not I'm lost. Does that make sense to you? Like, people, like, there's a certain, like, supposing, okay, well, no, let me think. Supposing there is a war for souls raging on in the world, right? Some people want to doom souls and some people want to save them. And so when I hear from people, I'm doomed, I'm go, oh, okay, I'm actually not doomed, right? If I hear from somebody, I'm lost, then I'm actually not lost.
Mary?
No?
Didn't you say that you had a vision of the cross?
Yeah. Well, I mean, was that a real vision or not? Right. Every horizontal and every vertical bar in my house intersecting, is that a vision of the cross, or is that just me projecting something out into the meme sphere?
I see.
Right? Why should any of us assume we are going to heaven? I don't. I say hell. I say eternal conscious torment hell is closed due to me being an internet autist, shoving everybody else out of hell.
Do you believe God loves you?
I try to act as if God loves me, and apparently this is what pops out of me when I act as if.
Sandy, you're muted. you wanted to say something?
Sorry. Well, yeah. In relation probably to some of my comments in the chat, but do you believe that God loves you is not exactly the same as acting as if God loves you? I think that in the places of relationship, Jewish, Christian, both have a place, but they are not the same thing. And
Okay,
I'm
so-
still thinking about the Mishnah Pirkei Avot. So that was awesome. Thanks, Jacob.
So
Okay, so
Dawn,
in the book, if I
Dawn-
may continue,
let me
I'm trying
give me
to-
1 second. Don quoted Rabbi Yosef Reisen, who is one of our favorite rabbis around here. So let me read that, and then you can continue. How can one know God's will if not a prophet? We pray the words of the prayers he taught us to seek forgiveness with, and then we simply trust in him and his mercy. And I would say that is the right way of looking at it. But go ahead, Mary.
Okay, so like in the book of Judges is a story, right? Where like people went to war against each other, and the way they caught the wrong people at the river was they said, say the right word, right? And everybody who couldn't say the right word got literally put to the sword. The Shibboleth story, yes? I see everybody nodding and everybody kind of understanding. We are now. Are we playing that game right now? Are we playing the Shibboleth game with each other? And does anybody need to literally die by the sword, or can we kill each other with cringe instead?
Okay, so the Shibboleth story, the way you say it in modern Hebrew is Shibolet, right? So the Benjaminites, the tribe of Benjamin, was known for not being able to pronounce Shibboleth the way everyone else did it, right? So the story is that there was a war against the tribe of Benjamin, and so they would ask men to say the word Shibboleth, and if they couldn't say it, they were put to death. I think it's very important to realize that the Bible is in no way is in no way endorsing this way of acting. And
oh no, it's not an endorsement.
No, and so God is not going to give you a Shibboleth test, because unlike Calvinists, I can tell you that I truly believe what it says in Psalm 145, right? Rahamav al kol ma'asav. God's mercy is on all of the things that he has created, all of his creatures.
Okay.
So God has mercy on stones. God has mercy on animals. God has mercy on human beings, and God has mercy on you.
Okay, hold on. Let me think about this. Let me also raise the question: does God have mercy on Ha-Satan?
Yes.
Even Ha-Satan.
Yes, even Ha-Satan. God
even Ha-Satan. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, because Utlam just pointed out, if God ate Jesus, Trinitarians are in deep trouble. See, this is exactly why I claim eternal conscious torment hell for myself. You know, everybody else out of eternal conscious torment hell, please. I can be there. I can be there autismoing by myself forever and ever and ever. Amen. All right, everybody else out of everybody. Hell, eternal conscious hell is now totally canceled for everybody else. Please.
But,
and then if you want to try to save me out of that hell, go away.
In about half an hour, I am going to close down this stream because we are going up to the 4th hour. Unless Yoav wants to continue it. So Yoav will continue after. Okay, so
brave mad lad, eh?
There we go. Yoav can continue the stream. Thank you, Yoav.
Hold on. Utlam is showing receipts of her knowledge of Jewish folklore, right? Jews are supposed to believe that Satan is God's prosecuting counsel and agent provocateur, as in the controlled opposition.
That is true.
right? That is true. So,
Oh,
is
oh,
Satan corrupt?
So actually, there is a there. Ben and Chazi are going to be streaming in half an hour. So
Okay.
even with Yoav, even with Yoav's very generous offer, we generally try to avoid having multiple streams.
Right.
Although Yoav, you might want to join Ben and Chazi's stream, as might everyone else.
I always join it, but just in the chat.
Aha.
I have nothing to add to their wisdom.
Chazi is a pretty good rabbi, and he knows his prayers.
Yeah,
And
I'm not so good as Chazi.
And I believe actually that aren't you guys going to be doing Sim Shalom, the 19th blessing? I think they're going to be on the 19th blessing of the Amidah, the final one.
Just before we finished, I'm sure that we didn't let Claire actually say what she wanted to say about Calvinism.
You are correct. Let me just say that, like, the prayer stream has a lot to do with all of the stuff we're talking about. But Claire, yes, sorry about that.
Yeah. So about Calvinism, I think the reason why Calvin chose such a gloomy view of predestination is because basically the Catholic Church has, cornered the market on priestly absolution. So the idea is that, you think you're going to die, you get the priest in to, do the last rites, and you say you believe in Jesus and you express remorse for your sins, and then you think you're going to go to heaven. And if you do all this right, then people think, oh yeah, but he got away with it, that murderer, that gangster, because he got the priest in and he said sorry, and he still believes in Jesus, and he'll get to heaven. So obviously Calvin, in his Republic of Switzerland, he couldn't do that because he's not the Catholic Church, and and if you're Catholic, you can think that, but not if you're this other thing that isn't quite an established church, because Lutheranism later became the established church of Germany. But if you don't have the power of the monarch behind you, you're really rather plain, and it doesn't look good. They don't have nice churches, pretty stone buildings and everything. So he had to say that this predestination thing is the most logical thing, to not have to compete with the Protestants and the Catholics about
I'm not
absolution and free will.
I'm not
This
too
is
familiar.
exactly why Calvin is cringe. See, we solved Calvinism. Calvinism is just a psychotechnology so that Janine.
Sorry?
Cool Kid, you wanted to say something.
I was just going to say
It went quiet.
I'm not too familiar with my church history, so Jacob can correct me because I think he's more knowledgeable about church history than I am. But I thought Calvinism came out of the Augustinian tradition, whereas the Catholics went to the Thomist tradition of free will. And Jacob, you're muted.
So Calvinism definitely is based on the teachings of Augustine, but there's a reason why they call themselves Calvinists and not Augustinians, because as I understand it, and frankly, I'm looking up the Potter's Freedom as we speak because I'm guessing I actually do have to read it now. It's 350 pages. But Calvin, even all of the disputes within Calvinism, it's a big question. But when you're really looking at it, the question becomes, is Calvin reading Paul of Tarsus correctly or not? And that is the ultimate question people have to ask. And while Father Stephen would say, no, they are not, and he knows much more Greek than I do, and he also knows Hebrew, and he is, you know, I want him to be right about what's called Paul within Judaism. From what I can see of the discussion that that Christians have, I actually think they're reading Paul correctly. Now that puts Paul at odds with the rest of Scripture, which I can see why Father Stephen would harmonize Paul of Tarsus with the rest of Scripture. I just don't have any reason to harmonize, as opposed to simply say that he was teaching something that is anti-scriptural.
Well, I think for Father Stephen, I could be wrong, but my understanding is that the Orthodox position is just like the Catholic position, which is that Paul is the first father, just like for Catholics, he's the first pope.
Okay.
So
What does that
that
have-
and don't they believe that the fathers are infallible?
First of all, he's an apostle. That's different from being one of the church fathers. Second, nobody believes that the church fathers are infallible. Almost all Christians believe some version of the scriptures being infallible, and Paul wrote most of the Christian scriptures. Any more questions?
No, I mean that makes sense. I just thought. I mean, I could be wrong because I'm not that familiar with Orthodox theology, but I know for Catholics they think Paul was like the first pope, and they believe in papal infallibility. So I just didn't know if there's the same dynamic going on with Orthodox Christianity.
Say that again.
So Catholics believe in papal infallibility, right?
Yes.
So they believe Paul was the first pope.
No, they don't believe Paul was the first pope, and that's not really relevant, because what we know of the teachings of Paul are in Scripture. So, like scriptural infallibility is kind of a thing that Christians really do believe in.
Okay. Oh, okay, I understand. So the reason that Father Eric or Father Stephen, sorry, is trying to reconcile Paul with the rest of the scripture is just because of the fact that it's not because of the papal infallibility or him being a church father. It has to do with the
Yeah,
him
he's
writing
Eastern
scripture.
Orthodox. He doesn't believe in papal infallibility anyway. But like, Paul is part of the Christian scriptures. In fact, he's most of the Christian scriptures.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. I think this might be a good place for me to bow out of the conversation. And since there is a stream coming up in 20 minutes, maybe we can have some final words and end it there. Kirk, why don't you start with our final words? Any last things to say?
It's always good to learn the Bible in its original languages.
This is true. And if you're trying to learn biblical Hebrew, Claire and I started. Oh, Claire, we're gonna have to reschedule. I just got a job, and I won't be able to. I won't be able to do the same schedule we were doing before. We'll have to talk about it. But
Congratulations on your job.
thank you.
Okay.
Well, thank you. But we did our first thing yesterday, and Claire and I. So I picked one of the more popular Aleph Bet songs, and Claire and I are going to both learn it. I already know it. Aleph Bet Bet, Aleph Bet Bet, Gimel Dalet Hey, Gimel Dalet Hey, Vav Zayin Chet Tet, Vav Zayin Chet Tet, Yud Tet, Yud Lamed
We'll be singing it together, won't
Yeah,
we?
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But so if you want to learn Hebrew, it's actually one of the easiest languages to learn, people. Mary, last words. Mary might not be with us anymore.
No. I'm here. I got muted earlier because I went off a little bit too much. So yeah, I thought the places I was in was the safe spaces that invited me there.
Mhm.
So I get a little bit feral when I feel like my safe space is being threatened. So like, doom scroll responsibly, please. Okay, you guys know what my issues are. You know what triggers me. Please stop triggering me recklessly, because
Well, I think people are not trying to. Very few people are deliberately trying to.
No, they are not.
trigger you?
No, they are no longer deliberately trying to trigger me, but some people do inadvertently trigger me.
Well,
Because,
that's part of life. So
Yes.
one of my rules is do not take offense when no offense is intended, and
Okay,
do
so
take
how
offense
much
when offense is intended.
how much offense is intended when people doom scroll in the doom scroll saying, "Look at how much the world is doomed."
I would say that's not meant to offend you.
That's not I will not take that personally. Okay.
Good.
What is the intention of sharing the doom scroll in my safe spaces, showing how doomed the world is?
Sorry to interrupt, but we have just been joined by Michael Sartori.
Oh yes, hello.
And Michael Sartori has written a 500 book.
500 page.
500 page
closer
book.
to 800 pages. I have it around here somewhere.
Okay, so
Yes.
so you need to match that. I want a 900 page book from you.
What?
Might be easier than you think. Yeah.
I mean, I've been jamming with DeepSeek for a couple of days now, but nobody wants to read that. So
Yeah, we AI slop only if you
Yeah.
actually edit the AI slop.
Oh,
You should
no.
let me put it this way. Write something that you can read it twice without cringing.
Oh no.
And I promise I will read it if you can tell me whatever it is that you wrote, you write something. Your Christian witness would actually be a beautiful thing to do, and just be able to read it twice without cringing.
I mean, I might be able to find that little Christian witness thing that I did once upon a time that I probably can do without cringing very much, but I'd have to look for it. I'd have to look for it.
Okay, that sounds great. Sandy,
Yeah.
final words.
Muted.
She is muted.
Sorry, I was looking for a link to add to my in chat final words. Basically, I'm going to go and do some poetry, listen to the prayer stream, and I'm pointing out that Aleph with Beth Hebrew, which gets recommends by Jacob, has added written transcripts to that and to the Aleph with Angela Greek lessons that are also connected there.
Yeah, so
I will look to see if
the couple who Beth and Andrew who run Aleph with Beth and I guess Aleph with Angela, they do amazing work. I highly recommend their work. I don't even try to replicate it. They are absolutely amazing people, and God bless them. Yoav, final words.
First, I would like to offer my help. I mean, after your lessons, I could stay on and for some exercises. And concerning your first lesson, did you explain to them yet why there are two sets of vowels?
What do you
Why,
mean?
why is
that's
it, there is kamatz and patach and why they come in pairs? Tzera and segol. Why do we need two of each?
I mean, I they are supposed to be longer and shorter, and in some like so. If you listen to me closely when I'm doing Hebrew, right, you will notice that I will say kamatz and patach differently. So I will say shalach lanu, not shlach lanu, right? And many of the liturgical forms actually do maintain a difference between patach and kamatz katan. I mean kamatz gadol, and tzere and segol. It's only modern Hebrew that's kind of gotten rid of the differences.
Okay,
Yeah.
So when I'm doing my exercises, there's a point I want to elaborate on that, but that's for another broadcast.
Okay, sounds good.
And
did
about
I miss something? I mean,
you just started. There's an addition, or there's always an addition.
Okay.
It's about Peleg Selek. Pei Lamed Gimel Samach Lamed Kuf. Look it up.
Okay.
Peleg Selek. Okay. About triggering people. I'm trying to behave my best when Jacob is around, but remember that I am Middle Eastern. And once I feel friendly enough, then expect to be triggered.
Okay. My final words. This is a very unique space. If you enjoy what I do in this space, I would highly recommend you look into Fountain of Comfort. Sandy and Yoav are the two. Did anybody else get certified as a peer counselor? No, they're the two certified peer counselors that through Fountain of Comfort, who have been very useful to me in my work here, and I just want to give them that recognition. And if you're interested, there's lots of talk in my my YouTube channel for Fountain of Comfort about peer counseling and being peer counselors. And if you're interested in becoming one yourself, do let me know. And we have talked about possibly having just a support group that wouldn't be online; it would actually be private. If people are interested in that, that's also a possibility. Okay, that is it for me. Let's say goodbye. I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry, Reverend. Thank you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes that devil's advocate thing too
Isn't there
far.
a proverb that says something like "Don't answer a fool according to his folly."
But there's a proverb that says answer a fool according to his folly.
There is. Exactly right. And I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, good.
Thank you, Reverend.
Good to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
The